Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct, which finds us this afternoon at the Smile IT Stadium, home of Hertford Town for Division 1 Central action in the Southern League between the home side of Hertford and Leighton Town. We're in the second half of the season and playoff places are up for grabs, and two teams here that certainly need the points. Hertford haven't played for 21 days, and last time Leighton Town were out, we were watching them this time last week, and they came a cropper 5-1 at Watson Park against Ware. Ware and Welwyn Garden City have got big home games as well against Biggleswade and North Lee respectively. We'll keep you up to date with those at a half time, but 90 minutes of live commentary to come from myself, Peter Hill, and our match summariser, Simon Alamandy.
Yeah, good afternoon everyone, good afternoon Pete, and another Saturday afternoon out, and as you say, three big games for our local clubs this afternoon, but obviously we find ourselves here at the Smile IT, and it'd be interesting to see what sort of performance we get from Leighton, because they was good in the first period of the first half last week, but that second half they really dropped off, so I'm sure they'll want an improvement on that result last week.
Well, they're in 11th place in the table, Hertford at 12th, and as far as the form team, I think both teams need some points. Hertford at bottom of the form league at the moment, and Leighton are 16th out of 19. Not really fair on Ben Hurd's side, because as I say, last time out was some 21 days ago when they lost 4-1 at AFC Dunstable. Been different story here though, won 7 of their 12 home games, and they've also only lost 1 of the last 9 at the Smile IT. So let's have a look at the two-team lineups. Hertford just make one change from that side that went down at AFC Dunstable 3 weeks ago. Luke Mewitt's back in goal, which means young Will Kears is back on the bench. So Hertford will start with Luke Mewitt in goal. Back four, well expected, with Ryan Bennell at right back, Karim Ashani at left back, and between them Ben Hurd and Harry Gilzine. Joe Bennett, the captain, will play just in front of that back four, and then they'll have Billy Mardell Smith and Brian Garzon in support of a front three of Sonny Coughlin-Brown, Wilson Burnell and Sendedge. On the bench is Cardozo, the goalkeeper Will Kears, and new signing Longray Balogun, who signed this week. His last club was FC Romania, although he's also appeared for Arlesey Town and Baldock as well. Abraham Ajiboye and Ergis Pepaj complete the Hertford bench. As far as Leighton Town are concerned, their manager Gary Flynn's only made one change from that team that was thumped this time last week. That's the return of Albie Hall, who's back at the club after spending some time with Bedford. He comes into the starting lineup at the expense of Finlay Brennan, who drops to the bench. So the visitors will start with Xavier Leon, the Spanish goalkeeper. Across the back four will be Luke Pyman, the skipper Lee Cooksey, Alfie Powell and James Sage. In midfield they'll have Ben Farrell and Seb Simpson, and then wide players will be on one side Louis Barrett, on the other side Harry Williams, in support of a front two of Jake Watkinson, their top scorer, and Albie Hall. On the bench for the visitors, Finlay Brennan, Claudio Diaz, who was signed 10 days ago from Alvechurch, Nathaniel Opoku, James Towell and Charlie Pattinson. And the referee this afternoon for this one is Gareth Burton from Harrow. He's an accountant and he's also Simon a Spurs fan, but I won't hold that against him.
I don't think we'll talk about Spurs after last night today, but yeah. I mean, saying that, obviously that was an FA Cup match. I just want to say congratulations to Maidstone United, winning 2-1 against Ipswich and into the fifth round. Fantastic.
Yeah, keep that non-league flag flying, and great result for them from National League South, which is 2 divisions above where we see our football here at Step 4. At half-time, by the way, the half-time segment will be a little bit different because we told you all about Leighton last week. So I was going to look at promotion and relegation at half-time and just have a look at some of the likely candidates that might come into this league next season, where the league goes from 19 teams to 22, of course, which will be interesting. We'll get these big breaks like the one that Hertford has had. And, Ben gave some training. We know they're playing during the week, but it's nothing like having a match, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, that's what they need. Obviously, they had that game last week called off, and I guess down here they couldn't have any training or anything like that together as well, so that does set them back a little bit. Obviously it helps having the 3G pitch where you don't get so many games called off, but I know after speaking to Colin last weekend that there was problems with underneath the actual 3G service bit still being frozen, and that led to the game being called off.
Well, it's thawed out now and it's looking in pristine condition as it does, and we're just about to get underway with Leighton Town kicking from left to right in their red and white striped shirts with red banks, and Hertford in the familiar blue shirts with white sleeves and blue shorts. So let's see what we get from this young Hertford Town side, and what we get from Leighton Town after last week as well. As Simon said, they kind of bossed the opening 20 minutes against Ware and then spectacularly fell apart, particularly in the second half of the game, where they've had a bit of a problem all season really with the goals they've conceded after half-time. Referee looks at his watch. It's a little bit brisk, let's put it that way. Temperatures in the 8-degree region, but certainly warmer than it has been, as a long ball is headed out to the edge of the area where Sonny Colin Brown looks to bring in Brian Garzon, but Farrell's in the way for Leighton. His ball forward though is pounced on by Harry Gilzine. Ryan Burnell in possession with Joe Bennett, who skippers the side these days. Plays the ball back to Harry Gilzine, and Brian Garzon has it on the halfway line, chips it down the line for the run of Ryan Burnell. Harry Williams in the way for Leighton, gives it away to Garzon again. Ball that disappears behind the post, which is in front of us. Our commentary position more or less right on the halfway line here at the Smile IT, but for those of you who know the ground, it's got one of those old stands with a big post in the middle of it that you can't help but get behind at some point. And rather obligingly, the free kick is about to be taken for Hertford on that far side. Right behind it is Brian Garzon, who will be taking it right down by that right-hand touchline. Gilzine's come up from the back as the ball goes low and is headed out at the near post by Seb Simpson. Ball chipped forward by Harry Williams, looking for the run of Albie Hall. Bennett beats him in the air, and up in the air again by Joe Bennett. And then there's a bit of a clash between Billy Mardell-Smith and Alfie Powell. Both of them have stayed down as the ball finds Louis Barrett on the right-hand side, drifts inside, goes round two, tries to play it through Ben Erd's legs, but it all comes to nothing. Both those players are back up, although Alfie Powell's up holding his shoulder. Billy Mardell-Smith in quick action here, midway inside his own half. Tries to bring in Garai Mashani. Farrell puts it down the line. Nobody read his intention, and Ben Erd will let it drift over for a goal kick. And Alfie Hall just seems to be feeling that shoulder a little bit as he went down the challenge with Billy there. Yeah,
it looks a little bit sore, doesn't it? As you say, he was crouching down just now holding it, and hopefully he'll be able to run. I don't know how you run off a shoulder injury, but hopefully he'll be able to recover from it.
As Hertford down by the corner flag in their own half, find Joe Bennett inside the area. Bennett to Bennett again, patient play, brings in Luke Mewett, still inside his 6-yard box. He plays it to the right hand side for Harry Gilzine. Chance to get themselves out of that one as Wilson Burnell is challenged over there on that far side by Alfie Powell, but the ball goes out for a throw in to Hertford. Gilzine's route back to Luke Mewett is blocked, so he has to go forward for Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell turning well, picking up a bit of speed, goes across the halfway line, chips it forward for Brian Garzon. Lovely little back heel, brings in Wilson again. Wilson Burnell still going here. He's surrounded by red shirts, and in the end it's Cooksey who manages to get in the way and thumps the ball out on this near side. But made up an incredible amount of ground there, Wilson Burnell. He's not your typical big bold centre forward. He's one who likes to run with the ball at his feet, and it certainly was shown there. Billy Mardell-Smith for Joe Bennett, midway inside the Leighton half, tries to chip it forward, comes to nothing. Hertford managed to get to the ball, but then it skims off the top of Senjej and goes out for a throw in to Leighton Town. Top of the table, of course, he's so congested. I mean, these two, Hertford just 5 points off the playoffs, and amazingly Leighton, despite the fact they're 11th in the table, are just 3 points off a playoff place. So you might look at a match between 11th and 12th in the division and say, "Ooh, not too much going on there," but there's a lot for both these sides. As Garzon picks it up on the halfway line, brings in Ryan Burnell, right-hand side. Burnell has to go backwards. Harry Gilzine midway inside his own half, squares it to his left-hand side for Ben Hurd. Ben starts to move forward. Ben's gone down the left-hand side here. Sendedge has ignored him and plays it right-hand side to Sonny Coughlin-Brown. Sonny midway inside the Leighton Town half. Brings in Ben Hurd, who's playing in central midfield for the moment. Ball chipped to his near side, brought down by Sendedge, but Cooksey manages to get a foot in, but it breaks to Coughlin-Brown, whose shot sends Leighton going to his right-hand side. It went straight through the legs of Luke Pyman, and goalkeeper did well to get hold of it in the end.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? I mean, I didn't think anyone would have expected him to get that shot off, but he's done well, and that was good save from Leighton. Otherwise, that would have nested in the bottom left-hand corner.
First chance for Hertford then, early doors, as ball in possession of Leighton Town with Sage on that far side. Brings in the goalkeeper again, who's playing as he did last week in the orange shirt and the black tracksuit trousers. Harry Williams picks the ball up just in the Hertford portion of their half. Finds Farrell on this near side, who's Louis Barrett. Looked dangerous at times last week. Trying to look dangerous again. Finds Farrell, but not quite sure what that was all about. Wasn't a shot, wasn't a cross. And it just looped up in the air and went behind to the stable end, where there's a flag with Leighton Town FC on it. We had a couple of listeners from Bedfordshire last week listening to our commentary. So if you are listening again in Bedfordshire, welcome along. Good to have you with us here. So we've hit 27 countries, I think it is, so far, with the commentaries for 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. So wherever you're listening around the world, I hope it's a bit warmer with you than it is here, but welcome along. Seb Simpson wins the ball for Leighton, but it's pounced on by Joe Bennett. Bennett's long ball looking to release Sonny Coughlin-Brown down the right-hand side. Sage is having the back pedal. He now gets alongside the young Hertford attacker. He brings in Ryan Burnell, tries to pull it back to Coughlin-Brown, but Farrell's there. And Simpson will turn away from Billy Mardell-Smith and then get tripped by Sonny Coughlin-Brown and go down and give a free kick, which is quickly taken by Sage. Brings in Louis Barrett inside the halfway, inside the centre circle, gives it away to Lil Gilzine. A little bit untidy as Joe Bennett picks the ball up on this near side. Brings in Gorai Mashani right on the halfway line. Mashani continues that untidy passage by letting the ball drift under his foot, but Barrett can't keep it in, and in the end his was the last touch, so Hertford get a throw in. Ben Hurd has it on the edge of his 18-yard area, plays it to the right to Harry Gilzine. Harry's the only player in the starting lineup for Hertford, by the way, who hasn't scored this season. All 10 outfield players have got themselves on the score sheet, apart from Harry Gilzine. As Ben Hurd picks it up the edge of his area, Sendedge offs himself midway inside the Leighton half, turns and Mardell-Smith will pick it up. Picks up some pace, plays the ball through, looks for Coughlin-Brown, who wouldn't have been offside, but overcooks it. And Leighton can come to the edge of his area to collect it fairly comfortably. 7 minutes gone here at the Smile IT. Hertford 0, Leighton Town 0 on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. As we were saying, Welling Garden City at home to North Lee, we're at home to Biggleswade too. We're very interested in, and also in terms of the playoff positions, probably the most interesting one of the lot is Cirencester against Waltham Abbey, as both those two have got to take points of each other. The other teams in the shake-up, Bedford at home to Aylesbury United, Biggleswade Town at home to AFC Dunstable, and Kings Langley at home to Barton. So things could change quite a bit in the top 5 this evening. Hertford have got a throw in on this near side, which is taken quickly by Mashani. Brings in Ben Hurd, and Harry Gilzine will have it. Far side finds Ryan Burnell. His first touch was a heavy one, and in the end he's given the ball away to Albie Hall. Albie Hall looking for the run of Watkinson but couldn't pick it up, and in the end Luke Mewett will come out and collect it. in his lime green goalkeeper. I'm not sure about the lime green and those bright orange boots. You reckon it goes?
I think the orange suited him much better, didn't he? It was completely all orange, and even his gloves. But he's had a change of colour for him today.
No fashion correspondent, but I think lime green and bright orange are particularly the thing. Anyway, Hertford in possession here with Billy Mardell-Smith and the white boots. Pushes the ball through, looking forwards and Burnell. Leighton's going to let it run just to the edge of his area. Bowls it out to Lee Cooksey. Plays it on this near side for Luke Pyman. Pyman's forced back by Sendage, and Cooksey just gives it away to Joe Bennett on the halfway line. Mashani back into his own half for Ben Hurd. Plays it right hand side for Harry Gilzine to bring it forward. Relatively unchallenged as he chips the ball down the right hand touchline. It's a good one, brings in Ryan Burnell. Burnell's got options here, puts it across the box, but Leon will collect it fairly easily. Bowls it out to Farrell. And Leighton looking for a quick counter-attack here as Barrett plays it forward. Can't find Watkinson. Ben Hurd read that. And Hertford have it back with Joe Bennett. Brings in Sendage. Sendage going centre field. He's got Mashani outside him. That's who he finds. Ryan Mashani back to Mardell-Smith. Patient build-up. It's Brian Garzon. I haven't seen too much of him so far. Long legs of the Anglo-Ecuadorian picks the ball up, and ball goes out for a throw-in to Hertford Town. Ryan Mashani will take it. Wilson Burnell had come short, but Pyman manages to get it away into the Hertford half. Ben Hurd lets it bounce and then brings in Harry Gilzine. Gilzine has to go all the way back to Luke Mewett. Mewett back to Gilzine again. Let's get the feeling two teams kind of finding each other out at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way, doesn't it? It's it's not too many chances being created. I think people sort of, as you say, trying to suss each other out and find a way of breaking each other down.
Need to reject a little bit of pace in the game. Too much walking pace for me at the moment. There's Ben Hurd who might do that, but having said that, puts his foot on the ball and then sprays it to the right hand side of the box for Harry Gilzine. Gilzine picks up a little bit of pace, comes forward to the halfway line, then he turns backwards for Joe Bennett. Joe Bennett's got to aim at Sendage on this near side. Pyman goes across and wins the header, but Mashani will pounce on it on the halfway line and bring in Billy Mardell-Smith. Billy looks up and brings in Sendage, left-hand side. Chance to have a run perhaps, but plays it inside to Mashani. Mashani then turns away from the red shirts, looks for Garzon and gives it away to Williams. Harry Williams coming forward. Possibilities here. Good run by Albie all through the centre. He picks out Watkinson on the right. And don't think that was the right deal. But in the end, a free kick's been given. Ben Hurd, he's not happy with that at all. And I've got to say, it did look a bit soft from this angle.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said that was a free kick. And obviously, there's a few Hertford players protesting. Ben is adamant that it wasn't a foul. And he's still shrugging his shoulders and can't understand why. But he ain't going to change his mind, Ben. So, let's just hopefully they can defend it. It's a free kick in a decent position for Leighton. So, Hertford have got a little bit of work to do here.
Just, probably a yard outside the box and just to the left of the D. And it's certainly Harry Williams who fancies his chances here. The ginger-haired number 11 was the first one to pick the ball up. I don't think there's any doubt he's going to take this. Mewett's got to get his wall aligned right. There's 4 players in it at the moment. The referee just having a look. Albie Hall having a little bit of a wrestle with Harry Gilzine. Blows the whistle. Williams is going to take it, thumps it straight at the Hertford wall. Paolo will bring it back. Look for Pyman. He's beaten by Mashani. If Mashani can come forward here, Hertford could be in. Mashani's still going. Barrett's trying to hold him back. Ryan Mashani is still going. Plays it across the box and just gets the back of a heel from Seb Simpson, which gets Leighton out of trouble. Otherwise, they could have been in a lot of trouble. Referee suddenly given another decision. What's he given there?
Whether the linesman's flagging, I think he's suggesting it was offside.
Well, the game had gone on for a fair amount of time, pointing that one out. So strange, a little bit of refereeing from our referee Gareth Burton. Free kick Taken by Powell over to that far side. Good header down by Watkinson. Brings in Harry Williams. Williams is in the box. Fires in the shot. And Lou Mewett just about gets something to it and puts it behind the post. Well, I'm not sure whether he meant to gather that. He mishandled it. Or he actually meant to push it behind the post like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure. It looked like he was trying. The way his hands was laid, it looked like he was trying to catch it. But it's gone beyond for a corner, and a good move from Leighton down that left-hand side. And let's see if they can produce anything from here.
Well, Ben Hurd's still arguing with the referee, and Joe Bennett's there as well. I'll give it him, Ben. He's an accountant. You don't argue with an accountant, do you? Come on. Corners to be taken on this near side of the field for Leighton Town. There's only Albie all in the box. He's there with Billy Mardale-Smith and Harry Gilzine. Both of them go down, and the referee gives Hertford the free kick. A little bit of Strictly Come Dancing in the 6-yard box there. But it's a free kick to Hertford, and away they come with Ryan Burnell. Brings in Garzon. Garzon plays it to Burnell again. Across the halfway line for Coughlin Brown. Finds Ryan Burnell. Mardale-Smith was in space. Didn't choose that option. Went to go down the line, and Leighton have got it back with Seb Simpson. Farrell miscontrols. Mardale-Smith does well. Gets through one tackle on this near side. Brings in Sendage. Sendage got a chance of a shot. Fires it in. Bounces it off the back of Luke Pyman. Mashani will pick up the scraps of Hertford. Brings in Joe Bennett. Bennett for Billy Mardale-Smith. Got a chance down this left-hand side. Put it across the box. And in the end, it's Powell who just thumps it out. And in the end, it got a deflection of Wilson Burnell and goes behind for a goal kick.
I mean, some good work there from Hertford. An absolutely fantastic run there, and creating a good opportunity. So, as you said, a few minutes ago, but this game's kicking into life a little bit now. The last couple of minutes.
15 minutes gone. They're on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. Hertford 0, Leighton Town 0. Don't be fooled by the form lead. Hertford are bottom and Leighton are 16. But both teams are better than that. As Ryan Burnell will take the throw in. Brings in his brother Wilson. Gets the ball back and all the way back to the edge of the area for Gilzine. Plays the ball out to Ben Hurd. Ben forward to Brian Garzon, who gives it back to his player manager. Ben's chip ball forward, looking for Burnell. Powell's in the way. Farrell will pick it up on the halfway line, but just volley it back into the Hertford half. Garzon picks it up again on the halfway line. Got red shirts around him. Flicks it inside nicely to Wilson Burnell. Continued the run, but couldn't pick up the pass. Few signs, Brian Garzon beginning to weave a little bit of his magic in a Hertford shirt. 9 goals this season, both him and Wilson Burnell are top goal scorers. As Mardale-Smith picks the ball up, brings in Garzon. Left-hand side is Sendage. Pyman is the defender for Leighton. Sendage goes to the line, tries to put it across, but can't bring it back into play. It goes over the top of the crossbar and away for a goal kick. Leighton have got a good away record. I thought they had a very good away record until last week. They won 7 of 14 away from home. Their league wins have been at Aylesbury United, Biggleswade, Hadley, Kings Langley and Tame. And when you consider they've also taken a point off Bedford away from home, it's been a fairly impressive record. 27 goals scored in 14 away games. But they really did come a cropper last week at Wadson Park. As Albiol heads the ball forward, Williams is beaten to it by Gilzine, who can just put it out of play on that far side, midway inside the Hertford half. Sage takes the throw. It's snaffled away from Williams by Joe Bennett. Well, Leighton have got it back, and then they give it back to Joe Bennett. Turns away from a couple of red shirts and brings in Gilzine. Down the line for Ryan Burnell. Burnell's ball to Billy Mardale-Smith. Plays the ball to the edge of the area for Ben Hurd. Ben coming forward. Down this left-hand side, he's got Karai Mashani, who picks the ball up now. I'm seeing one of those little inside runs so far from Mashani. Could get one now as Mardale-Smith finds him. Ball cannons away, though. Challenge coming in from Pyman, and will go out for a throw-in on this near side of the field, which the right fullback Luke Pyman will take for Leighton Town, and of course first season in this division, having won the Spartan South Midlands last season fairly convincingly, and having in 2022 won the FA Vase as well, of course, with Newport Pagnell, their manager, who then went to Leighton Town, and Gary Flynn got the side promoted. So an FA Vase and a promotion in 2 seasons for a manager is not a bad all indeed. As Gilzine picks the ball up down the line for Sonny Coughlin-Brown, who's come very deep to pick the ball up, back to the other side of the box to Ben Hurd, looking for some movement. One thing I think Leighton doing more than they did last week is they're putting a bit of a press on and Hertford get the ball, and Hertford are finding it difficult to get out of their own half, as they did then, as Albie Hall tries to bring in Williams. Williams gets the ball to Farrell. Farrell's ball is a poor one, but I think it's noticeable. Players like Barrett, Farrell and Seb Simpson are all pressing forward, aren't they, when Hertford get possession in their own half?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if, obviously they've done their homework on Hertford, I would think, and knowing they like to, they play it out and knock it about in the box a bit, so maybe that's something to do with it.
Mashani coming down the left-hand side. He has escaped this time. Gets the ball across the box, headed out by Powell. Sendage will get it again for Hertford. Plays it back to Mardell Smith. Plays the ball square for Joe Bennett. Joe gives it back to Billy. Billy Mardell Smith looks up, and suddenly the momentum of the attack has gone as he has to turn backwards to bring in Ben Hurd. Bends ball forward for Sendage. Sendage skips over one tackle, then brings in Mashani, still deep inside Leighton territory. Mashani turns away from Barrett, back onto the halfway line for Billy Mardell Smith. Patient possession by Hertford, but in the end they've given the ball away, and the throw's taken to Albie Hall. Hall drifts inside Joe Bennett. Big number 10 on this side brings in Watkinson. Watkinson's ball across the box. Williams was arriving, and Ryan Burnell did a very good job to get there in front of him. Otherwise, Harry Williams would have had a shoe in. Burnell brings it forward for Hertford. Not quite sure where to go. Sendage's got a lot of space down his left-hand side. If they can find him, going to find Mashani first, and Leighton then do close that space down on the left-hand side. Mashani is midway inside his own half. Puts it back to Ben Hurd. Plays it to the right for Harry Gilzine. Harry's long ball looking to search out Sendage on this side, but Pyman's in the way again. Farrell will pick it up for Leighton. Long up and under, and Ben Hurd one bounce and heads it back to Luke Mewett. Collects it, bowls it out to Harry Gilzine. Right hand side of the box. Joe Bennett possession for Hertford. Back to Ben Hurd. Billy Mardell Smith still inside his own half. As Simon was saying, Hertford do like to play it out the back, but taking a bit of a while at times in this one, and Joe Bennett's ball forward in the end is pretty aimless. Coughlin-Brown can't get hold of it, and the ball will go back to the goalkeeper Leighton. Only 2 clean sheets this season for Hertford. Failed to score on 5 occasions, and apart from last week, Leighton have looked pretty solid at the back. 9 clean sheets so far this season for Gary Flynn's team. Leon's long kick forward onto the head of Ben Hurd. Seb Simpson has it. Garzon robs him of the ball. And Joe Bennett finds Brian Garzon, who brings in Billy Mardell Smith, who sends Mashani going down this left-hand side. Mashani will turn inside. Wilson Burnell has it, surrounded again by red shirts. Wilson maintains possession and brings in Joe Bennett inside the centre circle. Bennett to his right to Ryan Burnell. He's got Sonny Coughlin-Brown hugging that touchline down the right-hand side. Coughlin-Brown comes inside. Sonny Coughlin-Brown still going, goes down, but really nothing doing there. He just bounced off the back of one of the Leighton Town defenders. And meanwhile, Gilzine has given Luke Mewett something to do. Mewett's come out and grabbed the ball, and it's adjudged he grabbed that ball outside his box. So there was a linesman down on this near side. He must have been right opposite. It's very difficult to see from that angle, isn't it, whether Luke Mewett was outside the box or not? Well,
I mean, I would have said by the looks of things, and where the free kick is, it's right on the line. So, in my eyes, the line is part of the box, isn't it? So I don't know where the referee's seen that. He's chatting to Luke now, and he's not even booked him. So I mean, I would have thought he'd book him for that if that was the case. But obviously we can't, we're not over that sort of side, but that ball looks might be just the other side of the line. So it's obviously very tight, but I don't know how I don't know if the linesman called it, or even how the linesman can call it from here, or from where he is.
Well, no VAR or microchip as Williams puts the ball across. They all go in for it in the far post. Everybody misses it, and it goes behind for a Hertford goal kick. Yep, none of that VAR rubbish or chipped footballs at this level. You have to make your mind up. And to be fair, the officials did, and they said it was over the line, but to no detriment as Hertford get away with a free kick, and we still stand here at the Sparlight T with 24 minutes of first half gone at 0-0. Brian Garzon, a bit of space, left-hand side. Garzon stretching those legs a little bit, drifts inside, goes to centre field. Garzon still in possession to the right-hand side now to Ryan Burnell. Ryan Burnell looks for Coughlin Brown outside him. Here's Sonny Coughlin Brown. Goes for a run against Sage. Gets ball across the box. Good cross. Nobody could get a hold of it. Leighton sorted out, and Seb Simpson will clear via Harry Williams, and Williams will bring in Farrell. And there's a chance here they could release Barrett down this left-hand side, but that's a great tackle by Mashani. And Mashani starts coming in the opposite direction. Plays it inside to Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell goes down, and the referee gives a free kick to Leighton Town. And he's going to book Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell gets himself in the referee's book for what these days is called simulation, I do believe.
Well, I mean, I don't see that he's simulated there at all. But I mean, obviously, the referee is a lot closer than I am. But I think that's a poor decision, and it's a decision that the crowd don't seem to agree with either.
Yeah, I don't. If you're going to dive, it's not the place to dive, really, is it? You see where Leon's taking this free kick now. I think that's cheeky at best. I think he's got to go back. I don't know if the referee speaks Spanish. I'm sure that Xavier Leon's English is perfect, and he knows it should have been, and now he's still put it further forward. But goalkeeper's going to get away with a couple of yards as he takes the free kick. Right-footed downfield. Ben Hurd will go up. One by Albie Hall. On by Seb Simpson. Back by Joe Bennett with aerial tennis. As Garzon goes in, wins the ball, and it ricochets back to Ben Hurd, who brings in Mashani. Ben will pick it up again on the edge of the 18-yard box. Forward for Joe Bennett. Forward for Wilson Burnell, who's just shrugged aside by Cooksey. The ball, though, lands at the feet of Harry Gilzine, who plays it to Ben Hurd, and Billy Mardell Smith comes short to collect the ball. Plays the ball again back to Ben Hurd on the edge of the 18-yard box. Chance of the Bramium so far in this one as we stand at 0-0. Not too much to worry Luke Meward at one end, and Leon's made one decent save from Sonny Coughlin Brown at the other. As Mashani gets the ball back on to the edge of the area. Ben Hurd, who's in charge of his 113th game as manager of Hertford this afternoon, puts the ball out far side, and Ryan Burnell starts a run and then rather loses control of it, but Sage got himself in a problem for a moment and then thumbs it against Hertford's right back, and the ball goes out for a goal kick from the goal away to our left-hand side. Hertford have got a game here on Tuesday, of course, the delayed Hart Senior Cup quarter-final against Watford's, it'll be Watford's under-23 team, won't it, that will take the field here on Tuesday night. They've got an away trip to Barton Rovers this time next week. In fact, all three of our local sides away next week. So throw in to be taken on that far side of the field. So ball chipped forward off to the head of Ryan Burnell. Goes out for a throw-in, which Alan Sage will take. Sage's throw-in onto the head of Gilzine, back to Billy Mardell Smith, and the ball bounces off of Sage again and goes out by the Leighton Town dugout. There's Joe Bennett coming forward inside the Leighton half, loses control of the ball though, and Farrell will come in the opposite direction. Possibilities for the visitors here, but he's just run off the ball by Brian Garzon. And Joe Bennett will pick it up again for Hertford and start to move forward across the halfway line. Finds Mashani, who's in an unfamiliar position through the centre, as Brian Garzon will pick the ball up midway inside the Leighton half. Lovely ball for Wilson Burnell, going left outside the area, tries to put it in for Billy Mardell-Smith. It took a ricochet off Alfie Bowell and goes behind for Hertford's second corner of the afternoon.
A good ball through there, wasn't it? And Wilson, as you say, he's tried to cut it back for Billy Mardell-Smith, but didn't quite work out for them. But good little move nonetheless.
Brian Garzon will take the corner from this near side. Gilzean's unmarked at the moment, right on the edge of the area. It's going to be a high one as well. Gilzean comes in, but the referee spotted something as Billy Mardell-Smith went down inside the 6-yard box and gives a free kick to Leighton Town. Sometimes when referees see that, you often get the feeling that he's seen a player go down. He doesn't want to give a penalty, so he's going to give a free kick the other way.
Yeah. I don't know. Half the time what these refs see. I mean, it does seem to be. Obviously, the area gets a little bit crowded, but sometimes you do wonder what the referee sees.
Ball chipped forward by Seb Simpson onto the head of Mashani, who brings in Sendedge, still inside his own half. Plays the ball out this near side to Mashani on the halfway line. Calls for it back and gets it, then goes all the way back to Ben Hurd. Ben goes right to Harry Gilzean. Harry plays the ball back to his player manager. Ben comes forward just a little bit, and then one of those deceptive runs goes all the way back, and I think makes his requirements fairly clear to Wilson Burnell there, in that he wanted him to make a move. Put a couple of words in which hopefully he didn't hear in between, but we got what he was aiming at. As Harry Gilzean picks the ball up on the edge of his area, plays the ball down the line to Sonny Coghlan-Brown, inside to Mardell-Smith. That's a turn away from Albie Hall, and go backwards again to Harry Gilzean. Picks out Ben Hurd. He's got Sendedge making a run down this left-hand side, but decides he doesn't want to use him and goes all the way back to Luke Newitt. Back to the older Hertford a little bit here, taking an age to get out of their own half. As Gilzean picks the ball up again, plays the ball to Mardell-Smith. Square to Joe Bennett. They're still deep inside the Hertford territory. Number of passes strung together as Ben Hurd goes outside Albie Hall and starts to come forward. Ben still coming forward, and then the ball's given away. Barrett's beaten to it by Sendedge, and the ball in the end finds its way through on this near side to Barrett once again. Barrett's ball across the box. Gilzean's missed it. It's Albie Hall, and Albie Hall gives Leighton Town the lead. And architects of their own downfall are Hertford Town. They didn't get the ball clear when they had the possibility of doing so. And when the ball came across the box, it was Albie Hall with his 7th goal of the season back for Leighton Town that's given the visitors the lead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that could have been any easier for him, could it? Obviously, Luke's come out for it. Defensively, shouldn't have really have got to him anyway. They should have been able to clear it from there. But, tapping from, literally a couple of yards, managed to slip it underneath Luke. And give Leighton Town the lead.
So Leighton Town go in front, and when they have gone in front this season, they've lost 3, won 12, and yet to draw one when they've got in front. Hertford's record on going behind, by the way, is they've come back twice to win, twice to draw, and lost the other 10. And they do need to come back here. They need to pick up a little bit of pace. It's been a bit pedestrian for Hertford. This has been a difficult place to play for visitors because Hertford have had that sharp football defeat that we haven't really seen. We've seen it in patches this afternoon. We haven't really seen it as the majority of their possession. The majority of their possession has been in their own half. As Ben Hurd chips the ball forward, looking for Sendedge. Mashani gets there, wrestling with Farrell, and Leighton get themselves a throw in. Just in front of us here, in front of the old stand at the Smile IT. The ball off the head of the goal scorer, Hall. It goes out of play again, and will be another throw in, which Luke Pyman, the right fullback, will take. Pine into the feet of Watkinson. I haven't seen too much of him, the top scorer, with 10 so far this season. Ben Hurd's got to wrestle the ball away from Barrett and does. Lets it go across for a goal kick. Luke Mewett takes it to Gilzine. Gilzine forward. Can't find Garzon. At the moment, after having trouble in their own half, as Gilzine gets an outrageous shove in the back from Jake Watkinson and goes down for a free kick to Hertford. But he's been real trouble getting outside their own half at the moment.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, as you said, they're sort of like looking so slow and pedestrian, and it's not the normal sort of like thing we like. We know Hertford, I like a slow build-up play, but they really are struggling to find that space this afternoon.
Sendedge trying to put a bit of pace towards it. Sends Joe Bennett to scurry away to his right and collect the ball, but he does. Brings in Coughlin Brown. Bennett's got it back again. A lot of red shirts around that box as Billy Mardale-Smith picks it up. Decent bit of footwork, takes him away from two players, gets it across and did well to do so. Here's Garzon on the edge of the area! And Brian Garzon fires Hertford back level. Well, last week it was Ware went in front and Leighton equalised within 2 minutes. This week it's Leighton have got in front, and Brian Garzon, with his 10th of the season to back his shirt number, has made it Hertford 1, Leighton Town 1.
Yeah, well worked goal there for Hertford, wasn't it? Good work from Billy on that right hand side. A little bit of twist and turn, and he's managed to put the ball in. Found Brian Garzon, controlled it nicely, and put it down to Leon's left, down to Leon's right, and must have hit in the back of the net.
Wow, will that spur the game into a bit of action? 2 quick goals in the space of 2 minutes, and we're back level here at 1-1. Here's Garzon, also have a bit of a spring in his step now. He brings in Ben Hurd. Garzon again, he's the man that makes Hertford tick. No doubt about that. Plays the ball out far side for Sonny Coughlin Brown. Burnell starting to run through the centre. Sonny drifts inside though, still with the ball. Mashani's offering himself midway inside the Leighton half. Karai Mashani to his left to Sendedge. Tries to send Mashani going further down the line. Mashani goes down under challenge from Barrett, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Hertford. Mashani brings in Coughlin Brown back onto the halfway line for Ben Hurd. Ben's ball forward for Joe Bennett. Ben continues to run forward. The ball will break to Ben down this left-hand side. Balls it inside to Wilson Burnell. Wilson had a chance of a shot. Doesn't take it. Tries to find Garzon. Here's Ryan Burnell coming in. Fires it in. Good save by Leon. Breaks to Garzon inside the area. Still Brian Garzon. Super footwork. Brings in Ben Hurd on this left-hand side. Ben's chip ball across the box, and Leon will come out and collect it comfortably on the edge of his 6-yard box. Well, that could so easily have been 2-1.
Well, I mean, what we've had with these last few minutes, it's much more like the Hertfords that we know, isn't it? I think, they've equalised, and as you said, it does spur them into life a little bit. And, since that goal, it certainly looks like it has done.
Billy Mardale-Smith, midway inside the Leighton half, brings in Coughlin Brown, far side. Billy's continued to run down the right-hand side. Another good ball across the box. Skied up in the air by Powell. Coughlin Brown is wrestling for it with Williams, but the ball in the end will break on this near side for Barrett to come forward across the halfway line. He's got Mashani in front of him. Barrett goes for the run against Mashani. Barrett still gets the ball across the box, and good chance was for Jake Watkinson, although a flag's gone up for offside, so it wouldn't have mattered. But he made a real ash of it, did the centre forward as the ball came across the box. But a linesman's flag saved his blushes. Is Mashani coming the opposite direction? It's end-to-end stuff now. Sendedge gets the ball across the box. Garzon's arriving! And the volley just over the top of the crossbar. Well, Brian Garzon puts his arm up to acknowledge the cross from Sendedge. And really, when you saw that ball drop, you were thinking 2 goals for Brian and 2-1.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a fantastic cross from Sendedge. He's made that run down the left-hand side, crossed it to the far side of Brian's running in. And as you say, he was setting himself up for it, wasn't he? Looks like it was dropping nicely, and he's taken the pot shot at goal and fried just over. But Hertford really have got their backs up now after going 1-0 down and bringing things back level. And it's really sort of like kicked this game into life, I think, then a couple of goals.
38 minutes go on the first half here. Hertford Town 1, Leighton Town 1. in Southern League Division 1 Central with Mining Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf Direct. Benner Hurd picks the ball up on the edge of his area, plays it right hand side to Harry Gilzine, and Sonny Coughlin-Brown tried the back heel to release Ryan Burnell, didn't come off, but Hertford will have a throw in just shy of the halfway line on that far side of the field. Ryan Burnell goes centre field for Billy Mardell-Smith, who didn't do any favours there. He was surrounded by red shirts, and Farrell will pick it up. Bring in Barrett, but Barrett's robbed well by Mashani, and Sendage has plenty to his left-hand side. One of them is Brian Garzon, who's forced just a little bit wide. But Garzon will take the ball, look to tee up the cross, does pull it across, it bounces off of Lee Cooksey. And the ball's still down on this near side as Mashani goes in. It's cleared by Hyman, but there's a flag up on that far side of the field, which would seem to suggest that the ball went out of play, I think. And if it did go out of play, it went out of play for a Hertford corner, which Brian Garzon will take on this near side of the field. Ryan Burnell making his way up into the box. Gilzine's making that late run again on the back post. They didn't actually pick him up too well last time, and Garzon's aiming for him again here, but this time he's overcooked it. It goes off over the top of Gilzine and everybody else, and behind for a goal kick. We just get the feeling Hertford beginning to tick here, and Brian Garzon beginning to find that space we know he likes.
Yeah, exactly. It took him a few minutes, didn't it, to to get involved into the game. But once he gets going, once he I think finds the pace of the game, finds where the spaces are, finds where he can run the ball into. It's he really starts to make that work, doesn't he?
It's a deja vu from last week, really, when we saw Leighton Town at Ware, when the game took about 30 minutes to get going, 2 quick goals, and it really took off after that. And this one seems to be following the same pattern. If it follows the same pattern, then Hertford should have a good second half, because Leighton don't tend to play well after half time. Mashani for Joe Bennett, who just stumbles on the ball, but it runs to Gilzine, brings in Coughlin-Brown, whose first touch is very assured, comes centre field and then plays it on this near side for Sendage. Sendage back for Mashani. Mashani for Joe Bennett inside the centre circle. Joe's chip ball forward there, looking to release Mardell-Smith, but one bounce takes it into the arms of Xavier Leon. Leon on this near side for Pyman. Pyman's long ball looking for Watkinson, but then a Hurd stare. Joe Bennett will pick the ball up via Farrell. He gets the ball back. Wilson Burnell brings it back under control and finds Ben Hurd. Ben to his right hand side to Harry Gilzine. We've got 4 minutes to go before the break here at the Smile IT. On the halfway line, Sonny Coughlin-Brown for Billy Mardell-Smith. Billy plays the ball to Joe Bennett, who's curled the ball on this near side. Could be a good one, because he could release Sendage if he can keep it in, but he couldn't do it. And in the end, it'll go out of play for a throw-in to Leighton Town. Throw-in to be taken by the right fullback, Luke Hyman, on this near side. I was talking about Leighton's record in halves of games. I mean, they scored 24 and conceded 15. Well, maybe that's 25 and conceded 16 now in the opening 45 minutes of games this season. But in the second half, they've scored 22 and conceded 31, including 13 goals in the last 10 minutes of games, which is the worst record in the division. So something definitely, I don't know what they put in the half-time tea, but it doesn't seem to do the job sometimes for Leighton Town. Long ball just lofted into their half, which Leon will come out and collect. Bowls the ball out to his skipper Lee Cooksey. Cooksey gives it back to Leon. Leon's ball chipped forward. Joe Bennett goes up and rather misses the ball. Is put through to Williams, left-hand side of the box. Mewitt thought about it. Williams goes down. That's a penalty. Luke Mewitt's indecision has cost Hertford a penalty here. It looked like he was going to come out. He then put the brakes on momentarily, and that gave Williams the chance to take 2 more strides forward. And Luke's challenge takes the flame-haired number 11 down, and really, no doubts about it, Simon.
No, absolutely not. I mean, Luke knows he's made a mistake there. I don't know why he sort of paused in coming out. If he'd have come out, straight away and carried on coming out, he would have been fine and he'd have been able to get the ball. But unfortunately, he made the decision to stop and not come for it. Then he's gone back for it again, and called for calls the penalty. And the referee's had no hesitation, pointing to the spot, and he's found himself in the book as well. Which, I mean, I said earlier. I'll tell you a minute. Sorry.
Here comes the kick. Can he turn from villain into hero as Albie Hall steps up very slowly and precisely and puts the ball to the goalkeeper's right and puts Leighton Town back in front 2 minutes before half time.
Yeah, I mean that's not what they need, is it? Just before half time to concede a goal. But I think they can take some positives out of the way they've reacted. Since they went 1-0 down and managed to pull themselves back into the game. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying, just before that penalty, Pete, I mean, I said when he gave away that free kick, where he was adjudged to handle the ball outside the area, and I was surprised the referee didn't book him then. I mean, I'm going, obviously it's a good job he didn't, because otherwise he'd fight himself off.
Well, Will Gears is on the bench. We know there is a goalkeeper on the bench, but Hertford would have been down to 10 men, so they've got to do it all again. Ironically, when they're having their best part in the game, really. Leighton Town have gone back in front with Albie Hall's second of the game scored from the penalty spot. Mashani midway inside his own half. Plays the ball to Garzon, whose space is quickly closed down by Hall, but unfairly. Meeting of the two number 10s, and Hertford will get themselves a free kick. Can they get themselves back into level terms at half time? Ben Hurd's chip on his near side, looking for Sendage. Sendage is pulled back by Pyman, but the referee doesn't give anything. Mashani's in possession for Hertford. Brings in Joe Bennett. Finds Sendage again, left-hand side of the box. Mashani was in space, but decided not to use him. Goes centre field, and in the end it runs all the way into the centre circle for Ryan Burnell. Cochran Brown picks it up on the far side for Hertford. Back for Ben Hurd, midway inside the Leighton half. Plays it to his left and Mashani. Brian Garzon, lovely little flick for Ben Hurd going through. Players go down, one of which is Luke Hyman. And they're not happy with that either, but it's going to be a free kick to Leighton just inside their box. But look at that back heel from Brian Garzon. He produces some class moments, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it? I mean, as I said before, it's taken him a little while to sort of get accustomed to the game and that, but when he does, he is absolutely class. He really is, and he really, I know we've said it personally between ourselves, but he really does make a difference in this Hertford team.
Yeah, we're in Southern League Division 1 Central. I showed if anybody produced that at a higher level, they'd be showing it on Match of the Day again, as the ball takes a deflection from Williams' cross into the arms of Luke Hewitt. Bowls it out to Ryan Burnell on the far side. Just over a minute played over the top by our referee, who wants to have a little bit of a word with Harry Williams, who sent Sonny Cochran Brown sprawling on that far side. And not going to produce a yellow card. But Hertford are going to have a free kick, which Gilzean will take. Brings in Ben Hurd. I don't think there'll be too much more time added on. But Ben's got it inside his own half for Wilson Burnell, and then Joe Bennett. Bennett for Harry Gilzean. Gilzean has to put the brakes on, turn away from the hall. Brings in Ben Hurd, who chips it on this left-hand side, looking for Sendage. And there's a flag up for offside. I've got a feeling that could be the end of the action here in the first half at the Smile IT. We'll compile all the half-time scores for you in Division 1 Central of the Southern League. As the season starts to get just that little bit interesting in terms of the championship and the playoff places, and as predicted, Mr. Burton sounds the half-time whistle, which takes two teams in, and a disappointed Hertford it will be that are going in trailing by 2-1 against Leighton Town. It was Leighton who took the lead 31 minutes in. Poor defending from Hertford allowed Albie Hall to roll the ball in unchallenged past Luke Hewitt. Hertford back in business 2 minutes later with Brian Garzon's astute finish from the edge of the area. But then it all went wrong when Luke Hewitt came, decided to go back, And on the second occasion, came forward, brought down the Harry Williams. Referee rightly pointed to the spot, and Albie Hall rolled it to the goalkeeper's right to give Leighton Town the lead here at the Smile IT by 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think as we said, obviously the game took a little while to get going, but once it did, Hertford went 1-0 down, equalised very quickly, just a couple of minutes later. But I mean, they've had their chances, some good movements, some good work up front, and obviously, 2-1 down, we can't argue against the penalty. But I do think Hertford, they've got work to do in the second half. We know what Leighton were like last week in the second half, so hopefully, nothing against them, but hopefully we'll get a similar sort of performance, and Hertford will be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of the scoring in this game. I think there's going to be a few more in the second half. Let's work it out, actually, because I think we're getting close, and we might even have passed our 100th goal in 90 minutes live so far this season. In terms of commentaries go, I think it's definitely been a very prolific season as far as the goals have flown in with the games we have been covering here. And talking of games covering here, well, today we're at the Smile IT, and this time next week we're going to be back to a ground we were at probably at Kempston, watching the Citizens, who we haven't seen so far this year, so it would be good to touch base with Mark Weatherston and his squad this time next week. And that's where we will be. A little bit of news in the week, by the way. Sad news, Southern League Chairman Anthony Hughes passed away in the week. I'd like to say to him, obviously, condolences to his family and friends. Good football man. There's a good write-up about him on the Southern League website. You might wish to read. A real good non-league football man. Always sad to lose someone like that. I was saying here there's football on Tuesday night, 7:45 kick-off, Hertford against Watford in the Hearts Senior Cup. Also some football at the Packets at Pexhurst, by the way. Trouble saying that. The Pexhurst at Welling Garden as well, because AFC Welling have got a game under the lights against London Lions in Spartan South Midlands League Division 2 next week on Tuesday night. While we're waiting for the scores to come in, let's take you through the Golden Boot. Hasn't been a lot of movement. Kind of strange week last week, because Hatfield Town have gone top of the Hearts Senior County League with a 7-0 win at Bush Hill Rangers last Saturday. And yet their two top scorers, who have now got 40 goals between them, didn't actually get on the score sheet. Both of them played, neither of them scored. So the Golden Boot still looks like this. Eben Mabona still leads the way with 22, but where's Liam Dawson, who's really closing in on him? 20 for Liam now. 18, Kamani Collington of Hatfield Town. 17, Jamie Marshall of Hertford Heath, who haven't really played much recently because of the weather. 12 for Louis Debenham of Westmill. Same thing really with Westmill. They haven't played, don't think they've played this year actually in terms of the weather. And Kendall Giamphi of AFC Welling also has a dozen goals. So that's the men's Golden Boot. The women's Golden Boot, I'm sure Simon will update us with in a moment or so. But certainly looking at that, Hatfield Town, who play their football here, of course, at the Smile IT, and looking to advance their way up the football pyramid. And talking of football pyramid, I mean, I'll start this little section now and then break off for the scores and we'll continue it. But we've been talking about playoffs. If you don't know what happens at this kind of level, then suddenly Division 1 Central is a fairly simple equation, because the champions go up automatically. So the likely destination for the champions would be into the Southern League Division 1 Central. Not always, because with allocations of teams geographically, they could jump leagues. So the Ryman Premier League would possibly be another destination for the champions at this level. And then teams that finish between 2nd and 5th go into a 14 playoff the playoff semi-finals will be the team that are higher ranked will get home advantage in those semi-finals, as will the team that is higher ranked in the final as well, and that final will give you the second team that go up to step 3 in the football pyramid. So that's how promotion works. As far as relegation works, that's pretty easy as well, because the bottom 2 will go down. That's where they'll go to, and that's up to discussion a little bit more. So that's what it looks like anyway here in Division 1 Central. And talking of that, I think Simon's got some of the scores together.
I have. I've got some half-time scores for you. I'm going to keep a couple back for now, you'll find out why in a minute. But Biggleswade Town versus AFC Dunstable. It's the away side, AFC Dunstable, who are winning 1-0 at half-time. Cirencester Town, they're playing Waltham Abbey, as Pete was saying earlier, in what it could be the game of the day in the league, and it's Cirencester who hold a 2-1 lead. It's 0-0 between Kidlington and Hadley. Kings Langley, they are 2-1 up on Barton Rovers. Tame United against Kempston Rovers. It's the home side who have a 1-0 lead there. And down at the Peckhurst, just up the road here, it's Welling Garden City against North Lee. It's 1-1 at half-time. Durnell Winter with the Welling Garden City goal after just 3 minutes. But they are down to 10 men because Bailey Stevenson has had a red card. And 2 final half-time scores for you. It's 0-0 at Wadson Park between Ware and Biggleswade. No Liam Dawson today for Ware. And that's because he's at the New Eyrie. He's playing for Bedford Town. We did hear something that he may have maybe making an appearance there earlier, literally just before we got to the game here. He's not on the score sheet, but they are 1-0 at half-time against Aylesbury United.
Well, that's... wait a minute, I'll just write him out the golden boot then.
He's done it now, hasn't he? Yeah.
He's done it now.
Yeah.
He's left the golden boot. It's disappointing for Ware, of course, but it's still got John Clements in there, a renowned goal scorer, of course, and also Kieran Bishop as well. So, disappointing news that Liam Dawson's left Ware, and we just look at those scores. I mean, Welling Garden City down to 10. Very good to be 1-1 against North Lee, but really disappointing because Bailey Stevenson will be on the end of a ban, of course, so he won't be playing next week against Kempston. Durnell Winter's 7th of the season, I think it is, that gave Welling Garden City the lead. As far as the top of the table goes, North Lee are drawing, Bedford are drawing, Biggleswade Town are down, Waltham Abbey are losing. So none of the top 4 are actually gaining any advantage at all. Cirencester are the big winners in the top 5, really, with Ware only drawing and Kings Langley are in front of AFC Dunstable. They got themselves right back in the shape here because they could be in the top 5 if they continue with their holding their lead against Biggleswade Town. So all happening at the top of the table again.
I get the feeling, knowing how crazy this season's been, Pete, that will all change before full time. But obviously we will wait and see. I'll bring you the women's golden boot. There's no change since last weekend. There were a few games taking place. Obviously the weather put paid to some, but Paige Pryor from St Margaret's women, she still leads the way on 14, followed closely by Laura Cousins from Sherrard's Wood on 13. Jessica Duff from Bury Rangers, she's on 11, and tied on 9 is Claire Cranfield from Sherrard's Wood and Sophie Vell from Wadson Park. And speaking of Wadson Park, obviously, if you was listening last week, you'd have said, there was the local derby, Wadson Park versus Hertford Town women, but that one was called off due to a frozen pitch. And I think, Pete, that's because Wadson Park, they mainly play on the athletics pitch rather than the 3G behind. So I imagine their game was scheduled to take place on there, and that's why that one was called off.
Yeah, it's a real shame, with the weather, because again, I guess the women's leagues are going to have the problems some teams in this league are going to have. again, fixture build-up because, you get teams that don't play for 3 or 4 weeks, don't you?
Yeah, that's it. That is the problem. That's in the eastern region, in like the Beds and Hearts and things like that. If they're postponed for weather reasons, then they'll get replayed. But obviously, as I've said, sometimes before some teams won't be able to put a team out, and they'll forfeit the game, which is right. It's the right way right way to do it. Otherwise, you're going to have a massive backlog, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's going to be an interesting division that we're covering next season. It's providing that, of course, the 3 teams that we cover, Hertford, Ware and Welwyn Gardens, they're all in the same division because there could be all kinds of chop-ins and changes at the end of this season, mainly because non-league is restructuring a little bit again, and they're making the numbers a little bit higher up the pyramid at this level. So this league that we're in at the moment should have been 20 teams at the beginning of the season, but Marlow appealed because they didn't think that they were geographically correctly placed to play football in the Southern League Division 1 Central, which left it at 19 teams, which it was very late, and it left it with that position whereby teams get a week off, 2 weeks off every season, and frustrated everybody. And it's going to be completely the opposite next season, of course, Simon, because this league, which is now 19, is going to go up to 22.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? I mean, obviously, but I mean, you're saying about obviously that's expanding, so we've got more teams coming into the league. If our teams aren't in this same division, they're split between 2 divisions. Think of it as I think of it as a positive thing for the listeners, Pete. Not a positive thing for you because you'll have to find more Muppet links.
Yeah, that's true. That could be a bit tough, but I mean, these teams have been in the Isthmian. Well, I say that Welwyn Garden City haven't. They've since they came back into this level or came up to this level of football, they've always been involved in Southern League. But Ware and Hertford have been, previous Ryman clubs, so you could see them shifting. And it all goes down to geography. I mean, if you look at there's 16 feeder leagues at Step 5, and in theory, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those feeder leagues that could provide teams to come into this division. If you look at geography, you've got Spartan South Midlands, where a lot of teams come. That's where Leighton came from last year. And you've got to say, I mean, Real Bedford are well up at the top of the table there. They're also very ambitious. Spent a lot of money, and so I can't not see Real Bedford up in this league next season. Yeah. I mean, that's what you would think, isn't it? Obviously, they've got, as you say, they've a lot of money spent, and they've got a crypto multi-millionaire or whatever that's involved, and he's got lofty ambitions, hasn't he, for the club there? I mean, you've got that. You've got teams that have come into this Southern League before from the Essex Senior League, but as you say, depending on what league they come from and what teams finish in those promotion playoffs, depends what league they're going to go into, and I guess what league our current 3 teams here go into as well. So it's it's going to be a lot of work for the FA to do, and let's obviously it's going to be sort of like the middle of June before we find out anything. Yeah, absolutely. Look at the Essex Senior League. The likely teams to go up are Tilbury, Sporting Bengal, Woodford, Romford and Barking. Well, you would think that Woodford, Romford and Barking would be shoo-ins, and Tilbury probably also for the Ryman. Sporting Bengal play their football in London, so that would be interesting as to where they would fit. And then we've got things like the Combined Counties League, which you've got Bedfont fairly highly up. They've played, obviously, at level and played Ware and Hertford previously, and as well as the teams going up, you've got to look at who's likely to come down as well, because 4 come down from the main 3 feeder leagues, the Isthmian Prem, the Southern League Premier South and Central. And if you look at the Southern League Premier South, which you'd think teams at this level wouldn't have a lot to do with, well, did go down there. They're 1 from the bottom, and so are Hayes and Yedding and Arrow Borough, who all 3 of them could possibly be teams that come into this league.
Yeah, absolutely. It's obviously, as I say, it's going to be so much work, so much sorting out for the FA and the people involved in the various leagues to do. And you'd imagine, as there was last season, you're going to get some teams that aren't happy where they're being put, so they'll appeal, and that'll just hold up the process even more, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be more than ever, actually. Because, just to conclude it, looking at the Eastbourne League Prem, you've got Haringey Borough, Cheshunt, who are both at the moment in the relegation places. Cheshunt came down, that'd be interesting. You'd have Cheshunt, Waltham Abbey, way up, Hertford, all in the same league, wouldn't you? And if 2 promotions away, Arlo are going well, so they could be back in the mix as well in a couple of seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I did hear something last week with them having issues with their pitch again. So hopefully they'll be able to get that sorted out, and they won't face any more penalties. But they're a team. They've obviously got big ambitions. We were speaking to them. We were speaking about them last week, weren't we? And it's a good setup, it's a good club, and it's a big town as well. I mean, it's a town that deserves a team at least at this level.
Yeah, and always a good place to go. I always enjoy visit Burroughs Farm, so hopefully in a couple of seasons we'll be back there. Meanwhile, the players are back with us here, and we're just about to get underway in the second half, with Hertford trailing by 2-1 against the Leighton Town side, who are kind of doing the warm-up equivalent with the Okie Kokie, I think, in the middle there. All in the big circle, going in and going out again, as Ben Hurd is the last to emerge from the dressing room. Who's down on the edge of the area there? Is that Harry Gilzine? Not too promising, is it? But he's got himself back up now, so hopefully he'll be okay. Referee's coming out. He got a bit of bird, by the way, the referee, when he went in at half-time. Not too popular with the locals, I think. It's fair to say, Mr. Burton. It's going to be Leighton Town who are going to kick off from right to left here at the Smile IT. Take you through the 2 team lineups when we get an appropriate break in play. There have been no changes since half-time. Get a bit dull out there. I think maybe Ben was giving somebody his mobile phones. I think turn the floodlights on.
You can just imagine, sort of like, saying to the ref, "Hang on, pause the game, ref. I just need to go to the changing room and get my mobile out and turn the floodlights on."
Sorry, I've got WhatsApp coming. No, I've got to do the lights. Okay, Leighton about to get us underway, as they do, kicking from.
He should have one of them watches, shouldn't he? The Apple Watch or whatever, so he can control the floodlights from his watch as well.
I'll lend him mine. That'd be nice, actually. Commentator brings the floodlights on. I quite like that. But Leighton get us underway as ball threads out onto that far side. Farrell heads it down only as far as Brian Garzon. Hertford need a bit of his magic to get back into things here. But as we have said through the first half, Leighton have got a very poor record after half-time in games this season. Particularly poor at Watson Park last week, where they conceded 4 goals, of course, as Luke Mewett will collect the ball as inside his own 18-yard area. So Hertford's line up very much as we would expect, with Luke Mewett in goal, Ryan Burnell at right back, Ryan Mashani at left back. The 2 central defenders, Ben Hurd and Harry Gilzine. Joe Bennett plays in front of that back 4, and then just in front of those, the 2 central midfield players, Billy Mardell-Smith and Brian Garzon, in support of a front 3, which has Sendage on the left, Sonny Coghlan-Brown on the right, and Wilson Burnell through the middle. As far as Leighton Town are concerned, they've got Xavier Leon, their Spanish goalkeeper, in goal. Luke Pyman is at right back. At left back, James Sage. 2 central defenders, skipper Lee Cooksey and Alfie Powell. Then playing in front of them, Ben Farrell and Seb Simpson. And then they've got kind of a fluid front line, which has on the right-hand side Louis Barrett, on the left-hand side Harry Williams, and the 2 big central attackers in Jake Watkinson and Alfie Hall, who scored both their goals. So there the 2 team lineups as Garzon's ball is pounced upon by Powell. Joe Bennett will get it to Ben Hurd. Chip set for Billy Mardell-Smith. Just shy of the halfway line, brings in Goran Mashani, far side. Bennett goes back into his own half for Ben Hurd. Ben forward for Sonny Coghlan-Brown inside the centre circle. Plays it left-hand side for Sendage. Sendage, chance to have a run against Pyman. tries a couple of tricks. The defender doesn't buy them. All we're back with Joe Bennett midway inside the Leighton Town half. Joe chips the ball forward, looking to run a Burr now. Cooksey was in the way, but his Sonny Coughlin-Brown plays it to his right to Ryan Burnell. Ryan Burnell thought about it with a shot, finds Garzon. Garzon's going across the box. Got Sendage to his left-hand side, and then he brings in Billy Mardell-Smith on that far side. Neat footwork. Brings in Joe Bennett. Bennett's ball to Ryan Burnell. Burnell to the right-hand side for Coughlin-Brown. Coughlin-Brown gets it across the box. Diving header by Powell. Will put it out for the first corner of the second half for Hertford Town. So, decent approach play. And Hertford cries come from the stable end as the corner's going to come in from this near side. To be taken by Brian Garzon. Gilzean's making another of those late runs at the back. Here he comes, but Sage got there first. Pyman completes it to the edge of the area, but Garzon will get it back on this right-hand side. Turns inside, Garzon onto the left foot, tries the curler, but it goes wide of the target. Leon shouts at his defence, thought they should have closed him down, but worth a try. His goalkeeper couldn't have seen that till late.
Yeah, no, absolutely worth a try. Yeah, he had the space on the edge of the box, didn't he, to run into and to fire that shot up. And as you say, there was a few defenders in the way, but absolutely worth him trying to bend that one into that bottom left-hand corner.
So Xavier Leon will restart from the goal away to our right-hand side. Ball lands on the halfway line, and then into the Hertford half, where Joe Bennett brings in Ryan Burnell. Burnell turns, comes across the halfway line, shows a good bit of pace, puts it forward, but he played it left. Garzon was coming right, and in the end, Leighton sorted out and will come forward with the lively Harry Williams down this left-hand side. Williams beaten to it by Bennett, but manages to shrug him aside. Maintains possession. Back in their own half with Sage now, who's giving it away to Sonny Coughlin-Brown. Coughlin-Brown brings in Sendage. Sendage turns to his left-hand side. Mashani wasn't there. He looked for the overlap. Let's go back on the halfway line for Billy Mardell-Smith. Mardell-Smith brings in Harry Gilzean on the halfway line. Forward for Garzon. Garzon, lovely chip forward for Ryan Burnell. Right-hand side of the area. Chance to tee up the cross. He does. Leon diverts it. Sendage goes in. Can't get a clean shot on it. In the end, it's scuffed clear by Sage. Something of nothing, really. It was a great opportunity, but it didn't really create a clear-cut chance out of it, and could have some defending to be done here as Leighton are breaking forward with purpose. Here's Barrett, right-hand side of the area, thumps it high and wide and away for a goal kick. But it was a lovely move, but you thought there was going to be a big chance on the end of it, but it never really arrived, did it?
Yeah, no, it was a great move, wasn't it? Brian Garzon involved yet again. He's played that ball, just spread it out to the right a little bit for Ryan Burnell, and put it across the box. But unfortunately, no one could get on the end of it, and it's one of those moves that again, that Hertford, they create these moves, they create these chances, but it's always a case of having someone in the box to put them away.
Well, they've got some attacking intent on the bench should they want to use it. Dozo, of course, and Lonray Balogan, the new signing as well. Both play, and just as I say that, it's actually Balogan who goes for a little trot down the touchline along with Cardozo towards the corner flag on that far side of the field. The other substitutes, by the way, Will Kears, the goalkeeper, Abraham Ajiboye and I guess Pepaj, who are both more of a midfield offering. And as far as Leighton are concerned, they've got Finley Brennan, Claudio Diaz, their new signing, Nathaniel Opotogo, James Towell and Charlie Patterson on the bench for them. As the ball chipped forward by Pyman, up goes Gilzean away from Hall, but it'll bounce for Simpson, who tries to bring in Sage on this near side, but he has to retrieve the ball and stop it going out. It does go out now off of Joe Bennett. Leighton will get themselves a throw in on this near side of the field. It was a game that really burst into life after 30 minutes. It was fairly pedestrian for the opening part of the match. burst into life for those 2 goals in the space of a couple of minutes. Helby Hall giving Leighton the lead before Brian Garzon equalised for Hertford, and meanwhile Ryan Burnell is adjudged to have fouled Watkinson here, and Leighton Town will get themselves a free kick. Watkinson stayed down. I don't think it was quite that bad, but he obviously felt it. He's striker his manager bought from Newport Bagnall, of course, played a part in that FA Vase win, and came over with Gary Flynn when he took over at Leighton Town. It's going to be Harry Williams who's going to take the free kick. It's 35 yards out, left-hand side. Pyman's come up from the back, loitering at the back. We've got plenty of aerial presence. Cooksy's up there as well. So Williams will put this into the Hertford box, and it's flicked on and saved by Luke Mewett. It was Helby Hall's flick, but it's flag up on the far side, so wouldn't have counted. But decent save by the goalkeeper, who will want to atone for his error from the penalty, which has given Leighton Town that lead. As Mashani brings in Ben Hurd inside the penalty area. Finds Gilzine forward for Billy Mardell-Smith. Mardell-Smith has to turn away and play the ball to the edge of the 18-yard area for Ben Hurd. Searches out Sendage on that far side. Sendage is there with Pyman, who does well and puts the ball back to his goalkeeper Leighton. First time clearance to the halfway line onto the head of Mashani. Simpson wrestling there with Joe Bennett. Joe Bennett gets a boot in, and there's Billy Mardell-Smith for Hertford. Steaming down the right-hand side is Ryan Burnell. Burnell's on the edge of the area here, plays it into that area. The flick was from Wilson Burnell. Garzon's got it now. Still on the edge of the area. He's got Sendage outside him, plays the ball all the way across to Joe Bennett on this near side. Bennett back centre field for Ryan Burnell. Burnell brings in Mashani. Mashani brings in Ryan Burnell again. Plenty of possession for Hertford. Need a cutting edge though. Joe Bennett starts to go forwards. Here's Wilson Burnell and Ryan Burnell, and 2 brothers getting each other's way. But Leighton have given it away to Sendage, left-hand side of the box. Sendage square for Garzon. He's got Farrell in front of him. Garzon chips it cheekily on this near side to Ryan Burnell. Can't bring it down, and it's thumped clear by Sage. Onto the halfway line where Gilzine watches it and does well and brings in Joe Bennett. Hertford a chance to come forward again, this time with Sonny Coghlan-Brown down this right-hand side. Sonny runs towards the corner flag, miscontrols the ball, goes out for a throw-in, and again, it's frustration, possession, but need to carve out those chances.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You know, I mean, they had a couple of minutes there, you know, as you say, you know, good possession, you know, looking for them chances, looking for that opening there, but they just couldn't quite find it at the end, could they?
Here's Gilzine, who gives Billy Mardell-Smith a lot to do, but he does it well. Snaffles the ball away and then plays it left-hand side for Joe Bennett. Got Mashani and then Sendage outside him. Here's Sendage hugging that touchline. Mashani's continued the run on the overlap, pulls it across the box. Cooks is in the way, only as far as Sendage, left-hand side of the box. Sendage chips it into this near side, looking for Coghlan-Brown, up in the air by Sage. Coghlan-Brown finds Ryan Burnell, tries shot with the left foot, goes wide at the target, but does take a deflection and goes behind for another corner. Hertford knocking on the door here, trailing by 2-1, 10 minutes, second half gone on 90 Minutes Live with Beaton Simon, in association with Easy Shelf Direct, and Brian Garzon about to take another Hertford corner from this near side in front of the stable end. A high one again, and this time it's Powell who heads it away to the edge of the area. Joe Bennett's there with Williams, and Ben Hurd can just punt it down that left-hand touchline. Sendage can't keep it in, and it's going to be a throw-in to Leighton Town. Do you believe it's going to be a Hertford change? I think it's going to be a debut for Lamry Balogan. And Lamry Balogan is going to come on and make his first Hertford Town appearance. And it's going to be Sendage who goes off. So Balogan on, Sendage off. It's probably going to mean that Wilson Burnell goes left, I would suggest. And Balogan goes through the centre. He's not seen him, but he's built like a centre forward, isn't he?
He certainly is, isn't he? I mean, we've said times before that you know, Hertford need a little bit of strength and height in that role. So hopefully he'll be able to provide that for them.
Well, he's quickly into the action, although he's beaten to the ball there as it threads out this near side for Harry Williams. He's got Ryan Burnell behind him. Williams goes back onto the halfway line for Sage, chips it forward. Gilzine goes up with a Hall. Neither of them know where the ball's landed. In the end, Ben Hurd gets in the way, hooks it over his shoulder, and Seb Simpson manages to get it back for Leighton. And in the end, Simpson is, well, Ben's adjudged to have fouled Simpson, and the feud with Mr. Burton between him and the Hertford's player manager continues.
I mean, I don't know what the ref's seen there, because moments before Ben brought him down, Simpson's just elbowed him in the face. So it's very, very bizarre.
I think Mr. Burton's off the Christmas card list. But Harry Williams is going to take the free kick midway inside the half left-hand side of the field. Plenty to aim at again on the edge of that area. As he chips it across, they're all coming in, and in the end it bounces at the feet of Harry Gilzine, who thumps it clear on this near side. Sonny Coghlan-Brown couldn't keep it in. So it's going to be a throw-in to Leighton Town. It's going to be taken by their left full-back James Sage. 13 minutes, second half gone here. Both Ware and Welling Garden City were level at half-time, although Citizens were down to 10 men. Bailey Stevenson being red-carded. He's on this near side. Albie Hall plays ball to the edge of the area. Farrell, well, he might have thought about a shot, but he brings in Barrett right-hand side of the area, puts it in. The header comes in from Watkinson. Hertford can't get it clear as Albie Hall brings in Seb Simpson, looks to find Williams, and Williams' ball brings in Pyman. Pyman shots, and it's poured away by Luke Mewett behind for a corner. They just could not get a ball clear.
No, they couldn't, could they? They seem to be struggling to get a foot in, get a tackle in. I mean that shot from come from the right hand edge of the box. Great save by Luke Mewett there to put it out for a corner.
Leighton corner to be taken by Seb Simpson on this near side of the field. Cooksey's up from the back, Powell's up from the back. He scored, of course, from close range against Ware last week. Corner goes to that far post, headed down by Powell, but adjudged a foul as Powell was leaning on Sonny Coghlan-Brown. And the Hertford will have themselves a free kick, which Ben Hurd's in a hurry to take. Plays the ball out to Joe Bennett, far side. Bennett further down the line for Wilson Burnell. And give Pyman just something else to think about as Leighton snaffle the ball back and then give it away to Mashani. Mashani, in the end, just hits it off the heel of Albie Hall, and he goes behind for a throw-in midway inside the Hertford half, which Karai Mashani will take. A little bit of movement on the Leighton bench. They might be thinking about making a change. Mashani's taking his time with the throw-in. In the end, Ryan Burnell comes all the way over from right back to give him an option. Ben Hurd's down by the corner flag and can do nothing but put it inside the area for Luke Mewett, who hits it out on this near side for Harry Gilzine. Gilzine's got Coghlan-Brown midway inside his own half. And Hertford again, as they had in the first half, just not getting out of their own half quick enough. Burnell for Gilzine. Gilzine forward for Billy Mardell-Smith. Turns away from one and then looks up, plays it on this right-hand side for Gilzine, who lets it run for Ben Hurd. Ben Hurd for Billy again, forward for Balogan. Balogan for Billy Mardell-Smith. Tries to play the ball through, but is beaten by weight and numbers of red shirts. And Farrell will bring it away for Leighton Town. Finds Pyman. Pyman's ball, though. He's rebounded off Wilson Burnell, and rather luckily, Leon was alert to it and managed to grab it on the edge of the area before Hertford's number 9 could gain contact. Another couple of substitutes. Pep Hadge warming up, as they on that far side. As Burnell and Gilzine swap headers. Gilzine then brings the ball down, finds Ryan Burnell again. And once more, we've got this patient build-up with Hertford trying to get out their own half. Bennett for Mardell-Smith. Bennett will get it back again, midway inside his own half. Back to the edge of the area for Ben Hurd. Long ball this time. Looking to release Wilson Burnell on that far side. Burnell making up ground. Pyman watched the ball well, but can only put it out. for a throw into Hertford, midway inside the Leighton Town half. Mashani takes it quickly, brings in Garzon. Garzon gets the ball back off of Wilson Burnell. Garzon to the edge of the area where Balogan's there. Balogan fires in the shot, but straight at the goalkeeper Leighton. On the edge of the area. It's worth a try, just couldn't get enough behind it, could he?
No, he couldn't. The ball's coming to his feet. He's got his back to goal, and he's made a quick turn to get that shot off. But as you say, I don't think he quite had the time to accumulate the power that he needed to.
Ball's deep back in the Hertford territory with Karai Mashani down by the corner flag on that far side. Ben Hurd brings it across the box and then feeds Harry Gilzine. Gilzine looking up some options. Ryan Burnell's made a run further forward but turns backwards for Mardell Smith. And the ball finds its way on that far side for Joe Bennett to pick it up. Brings in Mashani. Mashani has to turn away from the attentions of Barrett and in the end all the way back to Ben Hurd, who's long the lofted ball forward. Leon waves Sage away. The goalkeeper comes out, collects it fairly comfortably. We're hopeful appeals from the stable end that he'd handled it outside the area, but I think that goes back to the incident with Luke Mewett earlier in the first half. Leon will thump the ball downfield. Ball goes up, gets a decent touch on it. Mashani's got to watch here, gets a big shove in the back from Barrett. And referee lets play go on as Luke Mewett had it in his arms. There's Billy Mardell Smith, who's come increasingly deep in this second half to try and pick up some possession and get Hertford moving. Garzon's given the ball away, which is a rarity, straight to Harry Williams. Tries to get it back again, and Hertford do wrestle it back with Coghlan Brown. Coghlan's Brown ball inside for Balogan. Balogan's there with Powell. Powell just outstretches a leg and manages to put the ball out for a throw-in on this near side. Throw-in going to be taken by Ryan Burnell. Burnell looking for some movement. Joe Bennett's come short, but so has Coghlan Brown, who gets the ball. But he's given it away, and it's cleared by Farrell. Midway inside the Leighton half for Ben Hurd, and Mashani goes down under challenge from Barrett. Little doubt that was a free kick, and the referee wants a little bit of a word with Louis Barrett, I think, after that one. Yeah,
he's calling him over, isn't he? Rightly so. Was a little bit late. Obviously, no intention there for it, but it looks like Ben wants to take this quickly, but he's not going to get the chance to do so.
20 minutes gone, second half. Hertford trailing 2-1 at the Smile IT. Proud home record so far this season. As Ben chips it forward, Balogan can't really get contact with it. And Sage will clear only as far as Mardell Smith. His first touch is a bit heavy, but he gets away with it. Joe Bennett threads it forward to Coghlan Brown. Edge of the area is Ryan Burnell. Got Billy Mardell Smith outside him. Goes backwards for Joe Bennett, who chips it across the box. Cooksey heads it out. Rather desperate fashion. Mardell Smith picks it up again. Burnell to Joe Bennett. Hertford have had all the half this second half, but still can't find an equaliser. As Ben Hurd's ball across is easily dealt with by Pyman, and Seb Simpson will complete the clearance, and a good one it is as well. Picks up Louis Barrett. It's 3 against 2 for a moment here, and Mashani does well to delay his progress. Barrett's still there, puts it across the box, and Mewett's there ahead of Albie Hall. Mashani's gone down in a heap on that far side, but Hertford are continuing with it as Wilson Burnell comes forward. Burnell for Billy Mardell Smith. Coghlan Brown poised to make a run, but can't find him. Sage is in the way. Mashani, limping, has got gingerly to his feet on that far side. As Seb Simpson brings the ball forward for Leighton Town. Brings in Albie Hall, who finds Watkinson, and Ben Hurd goes across and puts the ball out for a corner. And Karai Mashani is really struggling out there.
Yeah, he's gone down from that tackle just before in the box, but I think it resulted from that free kick just a few moments before that. And he really, he's got up. All credit to him. He's got up and he's trying to carry on. But at the moment, he really looks to be struggling. It's not a good sign.
Well, corner to be taken on this near side. Surely he needs some treatment. He really is just limping into the edge of the 6-yard box. So the corner comes across. Up goes Mewett and does well. Good handling by Luke Mewett. in front of two attackers in front of him, grabbed it well, and a good bowl out as well to Brian Garzon, steaming down this right-hand side. Here goes Garzon. Williams is the defender for Leighton Town. Ryan Burnell offers himself midway inside the Leighton half. There's Joe Bennett with a bit of space to move into. Goes left to Mashani, who seems to have recovered. Mashani on his left-hand side. He's got Sonny Coghlan-Brown. Coghlan-Brown with Pyman in front of him. Coghlan-Brown back for Billy Mardale-Smith on the edge of the area. Brings in Mashani again. Mashani picks up some pace, pulls it across, but is diverted behind by Luke Pyman. And Hertford have themselves a corner, which Brian Garzon will take. Oh, I think Mashani, a great example of running off an injury. He looks to be fine now.
He does, doesn't he? I mean, you think just a minute ago he was really hobbling around, but now he seems good, which is a positive sign.
Here comes the corner, there up front. Wilson Burnell headed off the line. And headed off the line by Seb Simpson. Closest Hertford have come. They left Burnell. He's not the biggest of forwards, but he managed to get his head to it. And it came back off the line by Seb Simpson. Here is Mashani, midway inside his own half. Near side of the field, brings in Harry Gilzine. Gilzine chips it forward, looking for the run of Brian Burnell. Powell's there, and Sage will complete the clearance, but then give it away to Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell will turn and find Joe Bennett. Bennett's robbed of it by Barrett. Good work by Billy Mardale-Smith, who really picked up a clunk from Barrett. And Louis Barrett this time is going to get himself in the referee's book. He got away with the last one against Mashani, but he's not going to get away with that one.
No, he's not easy. Billy's down there. Trailers come straight on. He looks, in a bit of pain, and the referee, he's rightly called Barrett over, and he's getting his book out.
So Barrett goes into the book. First one on a Leighton Town shirt for Mr. Burton. Billy's getting the magic spray that you can see coming up off the turf. He's going to be okay. And Hertford will have themselves a free kick inside the centre circle. Ben very much wants to get on with it, and Hertford need to get on with it as well.
Yeah, it looks like just as the trainer's running off, Mashani's taken a little bit of that spray as well and sprayed it on his leg. So hopefully he'll be, like we said, it looks like he'd run it off. Hopefully he'll be okay as well.
They run from the back by Gilzine. Can't get hold of the ball though, and Leighton get it clear as far as Albie Hall midway inside their own half. Hall further down the line looking for Watkinson, but Ben Erd's there first and feeds Luke Mewett. Really has been all the Hertford in this second half, but they cannot find the key to unlock the Leighton Town defence at the moment. Wilson Burnell the closest they've come. That's header off the line by Seb Simpson. Ball back inside the centre circle for Joe Bennett. Far side brings in Mashani. So he's a little bit of a limp about him, but he's cutting into effect now in centre field. Brings in Billy Mardale-Smith for Ryan Burnell on this near side. Burnell drops a shoulder and drifts inside Williams. Brings in Mashani again. Finds Coghlan-Brown right hand side. Got to get the ball in the box. Sonny Coghlan-Brown though has given it away, and Williams can clear it out only as far as Mashani, who did well to rescue it. Ball for Ryan Burnell, right hand side of the box. Ryan plays the ball to Mashani. Mashani to his left to Joe Bennett. Bennett chips it forward, but in the end it's Barrett who gets it away to Ben Erd inside the centre circle. Ben forward from Mashani. Stayed in that central midfield position. Ben chips it down this near side, looking for Billy Mardale-Smith, who's made good space. Pulls it back for Ryan Burnell. Burnell's crossed a decent one, but in the end Leon will grab it before Belogan can get anywhere near it. And once more, chances going begging. 26 minutes of the second half gone here, and Leighton are about to make a double change here. Two substitutes stripped off and ready to go.
Come on.
Who's that down? Is that Seb Simpson who's down, isn't it? In the box for Leighton Town. We missed it at half time. We'll be at Kempston this time next week on 90 Minutes live in association with Easy Shelf following Welwyn Garden City. Kempston, of course, involved in that game against the bottom two against Tame today, 1-0 down at half time. And really will need the points if they're going to get themselves out of the mire at the bottom of the table. Simpson still getting a little bit of treatment from Scott Sinfield, who's the Leighton Town. Well, that's his debate going on all season, haven't we? Call them trainers, sponge person, therapists, who knows? But far side anyway, the linesman signals there is going to be a substitution. It's going to be Finlay Brennan, who's one of them. You can recognise him on that far side. I think Barrett is the one who's going to go off. I think that's a straight substitution of a wide man for a wide man, and probably a fairly good call by Gary Flynn, because Barrett, you think, was treading a bit of a tightrope after those two challenges and getting that yellow card.
Yeah, I think, I would imagine he's made that change with that in mind, and it looks like, I imagine they're going to hold fire on the second substitution just to see how Simpson's once he's come back onto the field of play now, so I imagine they're going to hold fire for a couple of minutes and see how he's in and make the substitution then.
Leighton downfield, bounce it off of Ben Hurd, and luckily goes straight to Joe Bennett, who brings in Mashani midway inside his own half as Joe gets the ball back again. Turns on this near side for Ryan Burnell. He's got Sonny Coughlin-Brown outside him, but drifts inside Brennan, the substitute, who still pursues him, and he has to play the ball out that far side to Mashani. Mashani cuts in field, brings in Joe Bennett. Coughlin-Brown has got some space now on this right hand side. Sage is the defender for Leighton Town. Billy Mardell-Smith on the overlap. Does get the ball, but has to go backwards for Joe Bennett. Chips it across the box, headed out by Powell. Farrell's clearance is scuffed and only as far as Mashani. Mashani looked for the shots. Tried to curl it into the top right-hand corner and wasn't far away.
No, it wasn't, was it? Plenty of space there as well before. Defence was sort of backing off of him a little bit. The crowd was urging him to shoot as well, and centre of the field. He's taken that shot, and as you say, he's not too far over.
The second substitution is going to be made now by Leighton Town. It is going to be Seb Simpson who goes off, and so. On that far side, look who's coming on. Looks like it's Charlie Patterson that's going to be the substitute who comes on, the number 16. All right, I didn't see a board go up then. But I think it's fairly clear that there's Charlie Patterson who's come on, and it is indeed. Spent some time at Welling Garden City, of course, the Charlie. His ball lands on his head as he pushes it forward and back towards that Hertford goal, but Luke Mewett will collect it on the edge of his area. Time just beginning to run out. 15 minutes to go here. Hertford trailing by 2-1. If you take possession into consideration and chances, they don't deserve to be behind, but they are. As Leon puts the ball forward, up in the air by Farrell inside the centre circle. But don't forget that Leighton Town record, unenviable record of conceding goals in the last 10 minutes of games. 13 so far this season. 2 at Ware last week, of course. Coughlin-Brown going down the right-hand side is Brian Garzon. He's got to the right-hand edge of the area, pulls the ball across to Belogan and minds Simon's car. Because that goes high, and highest one of the afternoon. And they might well have cleared the car park into the allotments, I think.
I was just thinking as you said it, I don't think my car's in danger from that shot. Yeah, that was, as you say, I think that might have cleared the apartments. Mine's someone's greenhouse, I think is the correct phrase.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think he'll want that one back on YouTube to have a look at, will he? But Leon chips the ball forwards onto the halfway line. Patterson heads it on. Ryan Burnell's going to try and keep it in for Hertford. Forward by Gilzine to Brian Garzon. Brings it down lovely. Plays the ball inside. Can't find Coughlin-Brown. He's just going to be able to put it out for a throw-in though. Billy Mardell-Smith at the hurry up. We want to take the throw-in. He's going to leave it for Ryan Burnell. Burnell brings in Garzon. Come on, Hertford says the stable end. As Garzon picks the ball up again. It's outside the area. Just looking for his options, and then plays it left-hand side to Mashani. Mashani's got Wilson Burnell outside him. Wilson Burnell against Pyman, being double-teamed by Williams. Burnell turns around one of them, manages to get around both, but he's hemmed in again down by the corner flag. Brings in Mashani for Ben Hurd. Ben's ball forward to the edge of the area is Karai Mashani. Mashani's still going, goes down. What's the referee given? He's given the corner. Stable End want a penalty. Hertford want a penalty. Mr. Burton's not interested.
Well, once again, another controversial decision from the referee. Players aren't interested at all, are they? Joe Bennett's there protesting. Ben's there, holding his hands out and shrugging his shoulders. Harry Gilzee's there as well, and as you heard, the Stable End, they're shouting for a penalty, and it's another controversial decision, I think, by today's ref.
And he's just given Joe Bennett a yellow card as well. So third Hertford player to be booked. Here comes a corner from Garzon. Leon's nowhere, but in the end once more, not for the first time this afternoon, goes over the top of everybody and bounces away for a goal kick. Substitution, Cardozo's about to come on for Sonny Coughlin-Brown for Hertford. And Sonny does the right thing. You get a round of applause for that. He does. Goes off to the nearest touchline, so Cardozo can come on. And Hertford going to have, it's going to be a three-man front line with Cardozo, I think, on the right, Spalogan through the centre, and Wilson Burnell on the left now, with Brian Garzon playing just behind the three of them. Got to push everybody forward in an attempt to get an equaliser and perhaps even more out of this game. Still time. Leon's kicked forward onto the head of Garzon, who brings in Wilson Burnell on the halfway line. Burnell picks up a bit of pace, plays the ball to Joe Bennett. Bennett's ball to Burnell. Burnell down the line gives Cardozo a first touch, which finds Wilson Burnell. Burnell back to his brother Ryan, who's rather given the ball away, but Ben Hurd's going to be there for Hertford. Ben chips it to the edge of the box for Billy Mardell-Smith. Good ball from Mashani. Here's Mashani again. Ben Hurd with the shot, takes a deflection of an outstretched leg. The ball in by Ryan Burnell. They're crying for handball against Brennan, but once again the referee not interested. Maybe a little bit harsh. Didn't really see it from this angle, Simon, but it was a big shout went up.
Yeah, no, I couldn't see it. Unfortunately, I was in that situation of the post on the right hand side of the stand being in my way, but I didn't see it. But more appeals again, and it's one of those things that I guess the Hertford Town fans will be feeling now that absolutely nothing's going to go their way from this referee.
As Burnell is beaten to it on this near side by Batterson, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Hertford Town. They trail here by 2-1. Stable End trying to suck a ball into that goal away to our right-hand side. Ben Hurd forward for Billy Mardell-Smith. Mardell-Smith for Ryan Burnell. Burnell centre field more for Karai Mashani. Pulled over on that far side is Wilson Burnell, who's in possession now. Burnell, plenty of tricks, but needs to get the ball in the box. Burnell still going, he's in the box, but that was good defending by Harry Williams. And chips the ball out. Hertford are leaving gaps at the back, which is what they're going to have to do if they want to try and get back into this one. Gilzeen chips it on this near side, looking for Ryan Burnell. Burnell slips over, but managed to maintain his footing and bring in Billy Mardell-Smith on the halfway line. Oh, he's given it away. And here comes Pattinson. That could be costly. Watkinson going left-hand side of the box. Not too much in it at the moment. Watkinson delays and in the end puts the ball across the box to the far post. Nobody gambled on it. And Mashani will keep it in for Hertford on that far side. One of those red shirts would have gambled. That could have been game over. But Joe Bennett picks it up deep inside his own half. Still looking for somewhere to play it. Finds Billy Mardell-Smith. Mardell-Smith brings in Mashani. Mashani down the line for Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell going forwards. Got to take the ball with him, and he does. Billy Mardell-Smith. Ball left-hand side. Brings Karai Mashani into play, but down by the corner flag. Wilson Burnell's got it. Here's Mardell-Smith again. Hertford Town. Brian Garzon forward. The ball trying the 1-2 with Wilson Burnell. It was all a little bit intricate. And in the end, Leighton Town sorted out. Thumping out on this near side. Gilzeen going forward for Hertford. Brings in Joe Bennett. Joe Bennett turns and finds Billy Mardell-Smith on the halfway line. who finds Wilson Burnell midway inside the Leighton half, who returns the compliment to the diminutive midfielder. Finds Joe Bennett edge of the area below, going to be wrestled by Cooksey, and referees deciding he didn't want to give anything at all. Well, it's been an interesting performance by Mr. Burton, who's unfortunately on his way to getting the bold red in the old spreadsheet.
I mean, I was just about going to say that, Pete. I mean, how he's not spotted that, and then how the linesman's not flagged, I've got no idea. I really don't. It's obviously, like I say, I mean, I didn't see that handball, but that was clear. That was absolutely clear, and he's just absolutely done nothing about it.
Well, I think we'll know what Ben will think. But, not impressed at all. The referee, Joe Bennett, still... Well, it's been a continuing dialogue between either Ben Hurd or Joe Bennett and the referee because of all this that had happened. There's another substitution being made by Leighton Town. It's going to be Watkinson who goes off. And again, they've decided they don't want to use the board, which isn't particularly helpful for us commentators, but it's actually the 17. I didn't have the 17 on my team sheet. Is it 17 on the team sheet? I think it's Claudio Diaz that's come on. But he's wearing number 17 for Leighton Town. Let's get the team sheet I was given. It's probably me that's written it down wrong. I've got a bit of history in that. But no, there is Claudio Diaz. It is. Makes his debut for Leighton Town, coming on. Got a good amount of experience about him higher up in the pyramids. Played at Banbury, he's played at Ovechurch, played at Stratford. So he's played levels above in the Southern League. There's ball on this near side. Brings in Joe Bennett for Hertford. Time is running out for Hertford. We're well into the witching hour, as they call it, at Leighton. 13 goals in the last 10 minutes the game's conceded. But at the moment, they've conceded more or less 80%, I'd say, possession in this second half. But they've managed still to maintain their 2-1 advantage. And the main thing was that header off the line by Seb Simpson for Wilson Burnell, because for all the Hertford's pressure, they really haven't created that many clear-cut opportunities as Joe Bennett comes forward, but Brennan closes his little avenue of attack, and he has to go all the way back to Ben Hurd. Ben forward for Joe Bennett. Ben will get it back down the line for Ryan Burnell. Ryan Burnell going centre field, plays the ball for Garzon. Garzon's one touch for Mashani. Mashani far side for Wilson Burnell. Wilson Burnell with Mashani going on the overlap again. Mashani goes down, and this time the referee gives nothing again. Now Mashani delayed falling, but I think it was because he wanted to stay on his feet. And the referee really didn't give anything, and now Harry Gilzine has been pulled up for bringing down Diaz. But I really don't think that Mashani dived there. I think he tried to stay on his feet, couldn't do it, and fell over in instalments. Yeah,
no, absolutely. He's seen the opportunity there. He knew he had the opportunity for a cross, and he, as you say, he tried to stay on his feet. But he just, with the momentum of the tackle that came in, he just couldn't do so, and he's gone down. But I mean, you could hear the thoughts of the Hertford Town fans, and it's I really don't think they're too impressed by this referee at all. And you said he got a bit of bird at half time coming off.
I think
full time, I don't know what's going to happen.
I think he's going to get a flock of it at full time. But Harry Gilzine heads the ball out from the edge of the area. So look at a bit of consistency, and also look at referees to spot things which are fairly obvious from here. When he's out in the field, but Brennan gets in the way of the ball, threads it down the line. Time running out between Hertford and what could be their fourth home defeat of the season. A disappointing one, it's got to be said, if it does happen. They've had more than enough possession in this game to get something out of it, and they're down by penalty, which Luke Mewett will feel he was culpable for. Ball on this near side from Garzon brings in Ryan Burnell. Joe Bennett this time goes on the overlap as Burnell goes centre field. edge of the area. Cardozo brings in Garzon. It's all just a little bit congested on the edge of that area. Joe Bennett's ball forward. In goes Ben Hurd, and it's chested down by Albie. It was, in fact, Alfie Powell, and the ball goes out for a corner. A little bit of afters going on behind the pillar that I couldn't really see here between Powell and Ben Hurd. Powell, who got himself involved a bit against Ware last week with a bit of afters. As corner comes across, it's scuffed by Page at the near post. Brennan still inside his own area, robbed of the ball. Garzon will get it back on this near side. Garzon turns away from Williams, but in the end it's just punted clear from the edge of the area by Farrell. Billy Mardell-Smith brings in Joe Bennett. Bennett's ball forward for Cardozo. Cardozo shoved in the back by Farrell most clearly and goes down. Referee gives nothing. Well, in fact, he's given half of the corner. I don't really know how he got a corner out of that, to be honest. I think Leighton had a reason to be a little bit disgruntled with Mr. Burton, because I don't think that was a corner anyway up.
Well, I mean, if he's not going to give a free kick, I don't know what's made him think he's awarding a corner. And, as you say, Leighton appealing against that, but... yeah.
Oh, here it comes. It was clearly off Cardozo, and it's pumped out by Patterson from around about the penalty spot. Billy Mardell-Smith has to watch it. Albiol wins the ball, finds Williams. Here's Pyman going down that right-hand side. This could be trouble for Hertford. Here comes Luke Pyman, puts the ball across the box, and a sliding touch by Joe Bennett takes it away from Albiol, who was looking for a hat-trick, and puts it behind for a corner. But it's at the wrong end as we want it, as we go into the 43rd minute of the second half here. And Leighton Town, there's supporters behind that flag on the goal to our left-hand side, holding on to a 2-1 victory, which would give them their 8th away win of the season and pull them back very much into the playoff picture. And Hertford's chances, you feel, might just start drifting away. Corner to be taken by Williams on this near side. Williams chips it near post. Ooh, Hewitt just about gets something on it. Williams will get it back though. Williams with the right boot, going for the far post. Header comes in and it's put in the back of the net by Diaz. It's a debut goal for Claudio Diaz, and would you believe it, Hertford have had all the possession in the second half, and a sucker punch right at the death. The substitute scores on his debut, and Leighton Town surely have secured the 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly looks that way, doesn't it? I mean, you've got Hertford players, again, I mean, they're protesting against something. You had Joe Bennett there saying something to the referee. I can hear Ben shouting, trying to rally the troops, but that's going to do no good. And I think Hertford can feel very hard done by here. Obviously they've had the majority of the possession in this second half, but I don't feel, as we said before, they've had that creative finishing to enable them to get back into the game.
Well, Leighton have bounced back. It's going to be 4 minutes added on at the end as the board goes up on that far side. But Leighton have bounced back from their 5-1 mauling at Ware this time last week, and put themselves very much back in the playoff picture after the full-time whistle. Of course, we'll let you know what's happened elsewhere and what the top of the table looks like this evening. I suppose you would think they might feel they owe East Hertfordshire one, having conceded 9 against Ware in 2 games. They've still got to play Hertford at home, of course. That comes later on in the season in March. But long ball on that far side, which Ben Hurd will play back to Luke Hewitt. And Hewitt will bring in Joe Bennett, who sprints forward. But it's got to be something very special now for Hertford to get themselves back into this game. They trail here 3-1. It's been a disappointing start to 2024 for Ben Hurd's side, and they will stay bottom of the Form League if they don't produce something here. Ball from Logan, and Ryan Burnell can't control it, but he'll go off Brennan. Hertford will have a throw in. Ryan Burnell for Joe Bennett. Joe forward for Billy Mardell-Smith. Billy's still got it. Oh, takes a deflection from Billy's shot off Ben Hurd, and almost wrong foot Leighton. And well, it's been that kind of game, isn't it? Well, they've had so much possession, haven't produced too many clear-cut chances, and there, suddenly, one out of nothing, almost brought them back in the game.
That's it, isn't it? I mean, it's one when you just don't expect it, do you? But I mean, if that had gone in, they all count. All these chances count and all these efforts count, so you take whatever's thrown at you.
Leighton chips the ball more than kicks it to the halfway line. Cardozo wins the header. Powell goes in and finds Williams, who's unmarked inside the centre circle. Williams coming forward. Harry Williams still coming forward, but in the end, Mashani manages to rob him of the ball and find Wilson Burnell. Garzon's made a run down that left-hand side, but Burnell comes infield from Mashani, who is outnumbered by red shirts. And Leighton will come back with Albiol on that far side. Tackle goes in from Gilzine, and there will be a throw-in to Hertford. Time has ebbed away. 2.5 minutes of the 4 added on have been played. And Hertford wanted a miracle here, trailing by 3-1. As Mashani clears the ball. Sage will just put it back in Hertford territory. Mardell Smith brings it down on a thigh and then brings in Wilson Burnell, whose ball forward looks to release Balogun, but Leighton was out quickly and just chips it back into the Hertford half. Brought down by Ryan Burnell. I think the cheeky shouts of handball from the stable end there. A little bit of tongue-in-cheek. That's our referee, Mr. Burton, as Bennett brings the ball forward. Balogun holds it up, but then he's outnumbered again. And Patterson just thumps it forward, looking for the run of Albie Hall. Newitt's got it under control on the edge of the area and bowls it out to Harry Gilzine. Gilzine for Ryan Burnell on the halfway line, beaten to it by Brennan. And time really running out now. We're in the last minute. And Hertford needing 2 goals. Ben Hurd coming forward for them, plays the ball to the left of Brian Garzon. Garzon still making that run down the left-hand side. Balogun does manage to control it, but he's beaten to it. Diaz, though, has lost out to Mashani. And good footwork by Wilson Burnell brings him in field. Burnell still going, finds Brian Garzon, finds it in, hits the crossbar, and then bounces down into the arms of Xavier Leighton. And that sums up Hertford's afternoon.
Yeah, I think it does, absolutely, doesn't it? I mean, it's fantastic effort there from Brian Garzon, but as I said before, it just doesn't seem to be going their way today.
Well, it hasn't gone their way. The cheers are from the Leighton Town fans who have travelled here to the Smile IT. Albie Hall punches the air. He didn't get the match ball, but he got 2 of the goals as Leighton won here by 3-1. The debate with referee Mr. Burton will continue all the way to the dressing room, and Mr. Burton will not get the warmest of receptions here from the Hertford fans, but it doesn't matter because Hertford have been beaten here. Leighton Town winning by 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, you can see people going up to the referee and asking him various things that, about situations that have gone on in the game, and rightly so. I think I don't think he had his best game today, or at least I'd hope he didn't have his best game today. But poor performance by today's referee. But I mean, Hertford Town can't blame that. You can only beat what's in front of you, and they just didn't. They created plenty of things, but they didn't just have that finishing edge with them today.
Well, in the second half, they had loads of possession, but it was really Wilson Burnell's header off the line by Seb Simpson was the closest they came before injury time, when Brian Garzon rattled the crossbar and the ball bounced down into the arms of the goalkeeper, Xavier Leighton. Story of the game, really. Well, Leighton Town took the lead in the first half, a shoe-in by Albie Hall, and poor defending by Hertford as they allowed the ball all the way across the box. They were level within 2 minutes. Garzon's good finish from the edge of the area for his 10th goal of the season. But it all then went wrong 2 minutes before half-time when Williams was pulled down by Luke Newitt in the area. Goalkeeper got a yellow card, and up stepped Albie Hall for his second goal of the game to put Leighton into a 2-1 lead. Second half was nearly all Hertford. but as Simon has said, they didn't really create too much. Just that Wilson Burnell header, which was headed off the line by Simpson, and then after 88 minutes, they got caught out at the back, and Diaz coming in for his debut. Claudio Diaz for Leighton Town nodded in from close range to make it 3-1, and Brian Garzon's shot, which cannoned off the top of the crossbar with only seconds remaining, would really have only been consolation anyway for this young Hertford side, who've lost their 4th home game of the season and now just won 1 of their last 7, which is getting just a little bit worrying, and I think their chances of the playoffs may well be sadly disappearing over the horizon. They'll stay on 27 points, having played 21 games. Leighton right in the mix now, because they'll move on to 32, having played 22 games. Simon's busy getting the scores together from all around the rest of the league, so we'll see what that leaves the top 5 and those just below it looking like this evening. Northlea, of course, were top of the table. They were at Welwyn Garden City 1-1 locked at half-time, but Welwyn were down to 10 men after Bailey Stevenson was red-carded. Darnell Winter with the goal for the Citizens, where we're 0-0 with Biggleswade, who were just under, still there in the shake-up as well, because there are so many teams so close together going for those playoff places. It's a dejected-looking Hertford side that have said goodbye to the stable end and then made their way round and into the dressing room. Neglected to ask Simon for a man of the match, actually, so we'll have to do that one while I'm going through what's happening after Simon's giving us the scores. Mashani looks okay, but he's having a word with the physio, so he picked up that knock in the second half. They'll need to work on him, and it doesn't really get any easier for Hertford. Next assignment for them after Watford in the Hertfordshire Senior Cup on Tuesday night is away at this morning's league leaders Northlea, so not so easy for Ben Aherd's side. And Simon, now tell us how Northlea got on, I think.
Yes, I can tell you how Northlea got on, and it's not good for Welwyn Garden City because Northlea ended up 3-1 winners. I'll run through the rest of the results for you now. So, Bedford Town versus Aylesbury United, that was 1-1 at half-time. It's the Ducks that take the points, Pete. They ended up winning by 2-1. Biggleswade Town against AFC Dunstable, a couple of goals there, and one each for either side, so AFC Dunstable end up 2-1 winners there. Another couple of goals in the game between Cirencester Town and Waltham Abbey, and Cirencester Town end up winning that one by 4-1, so a big result for them. It remained 0-0 between Kiglington and Hadley. Kings Langley versus Barton Rovers, that one also finished level at 2-2. No change in the game between Tame United and Kempston Rovers. Tame ended up winning that one by 1-0, and this one isn't quite a full-time result. It might be down there, but nothing on Twitter. There's no one updating Ware's Twitter, so I found it from Biggleswade. But Freddie Monker found the net in the second half, and literally late into injury time, Ware had a 1-0 lead.
Right, that's well. I'm running out of ink here. I'll tell you, the big winners of the day have been Northlea, because that win at the Bexhurst has taken them 4 points clear at the top of the table. Now, Bedford still have 2 games in hand, but that's looking really interesting at the top. They remain the top 2. Biggleswade Town, despite going down, remain in 3rd place. And then, would you believe, we have 1, 2, 3 teams on 35 and 1 on 34. So if I try and work out the goal difference on that, Cirencester will move up into 4th place with plus 17 as their goal difference. You've got Waltham Abbey, who now will go down to 5th, And you've got Ware, who will, despite that win, will remain in 6th place, but they're on level terms with the 2 teams in front of them and only 2 points now behind 3rd place Biggleswade Town. AFC Dunstable, another one of the big winners of the day, because they will find themselves in 7th place on 34 points. So it's getting very interesting. And, we said it can change very quickly. And you look at Hertford now, they've played 21, they got 27 points. And suddenly a gap that was quite attainable to the playoffs has stretched itself out in the space of one afternoon to 8 points.
Yeah. I mean, I think that just goes to show what this season's been like, doesn't it? It's, the thing is, you don't know. A couple of games time, that could be 4 points again, or something like that. So you just don't know what's going to happen this season, do you?
Yeah, it's definitely it's up and down all over the place, isn't it? Well, next week we're going to be following Welwyn Garden City to Kempston Rovers. Welwyn Garden City will need to bounce back after losing, but then again losing at home to the league leaders with 10 men. Perhaps no disgrace in that. Mark Weatherston will want to get them bouncing back next week. That's where we'll be next week at Kempston's Hillgrounds Stadium. Well, we got a very warm welcome last time. I'm sure we will do next week. There's going to be football down here on Tuesday night if you're around and about Hertford. Come down to the Smile IT and watch some football in the Arts Senior Cup, where you see some of Watford's youngsters take on Hertford in that particular competition. So 2 defeats for Welwyn Garden City and Hertford, but well done Freddie Moncur, as hopefully Ware have got a win against Biggleswade and continue their winning ways. Thanks for joining us. If you're from Leighton, well, thanks for keeping us company. Again, good luck for the rest of the season to your team, of course, and we will be with you next week live from 2:55. And I'll leave you with the full-time score here from the Smile IT. We're disappointingly ended Hertford Town 1, Leighton Town 3. Commentary by 90 Minutes Live is protected by a Creative Commons licence. Any unauthorised reproduction for commercial gain is strictly prohibited.